We are online. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm very good. And don't pretend we haven't talked since half an hour already.
Well, long time no see.
I
Um,
know, I know, I know. Yes, yes, yes.
we've both
Absolutely.
been busy, very busy to make videos, but hopefully we can go back, um, and go back to the production levels that we had, we were before,
Yeah,
making
I hope.
more content.
Yeah, more videos, more content, live streams and stuff like that. But a day has 24 hours and sometimes you need to sleep and it's not that simple.
Yeah,
Not
life.
at this moment, at least not now.
Yeah, life gets in the way. By the way, I saw your comment on the video. Um, Yeah, talking about we being the HDR expert or something like that. The thumbnail has the white balance is all messed up. My face looks like orange.
I I know, but that's the picture you gave me.
Yeah, I mean that was that picture was from when I was in that room and the light was very orange and the walls were like yellow. So that's why it looks like that. Is it's all messed
I
up.
mean, I think I called the stream something like the best two HDR channels presented in SDR.
Yeah. Well, maybe the only two HDR channels. I don't think, and so anyone else talks about it. Nah, yeah, there are some people who are
Yes.
talking about HDR gaming. Also, we have black level rays on the live stream, but that's a StreamYard. It has nothing to do with
Yeah,
us.
no, I saw actually. It's interesting because you mentioned this because I'm using NVIDIA's broadcaster, and as soon I would actually use the NVIDIA broadcaster camera as well, I have black level rays. There's something I need to figure out, because they have this option with eye detection, where they actually, it looks like you're always looking in the camera,
Yeah,
but, and it works perfectly, but then the picture is messed up. My picture would be too whitish. The gamma level doesn't fit anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on there. So that's why I'm not using this.
yeah, and I'm saying the background is all gray. Like all the StreamYard background is supposed to be black,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah, I
looks
know, I know,
gray
I
on
know.
the live stream.
Yeah, it's here gray as well. I don't know what this is, why this is the case. I don't know. So it's annoying me, but I try not to care. Really. There's nothing we can do anyway.
But yeah,
So,
thanks for everyone here on the chat. I see there's some comments, maybe from before the stream has started. So I open it.
yeah. Go ahead. Because
I
we have
open
actually I have no topic for this stream actually. So we can talk about anything, anything. I don't mind. Not anything, almost everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, me neither. I was in a pool before the stream. A very nice pool. I had a great time. One of those pools with water slides and trampolines and all the stuff.
The
It
same
was
what I have in my backyard. Okay, no worries.
a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I'm having a great summer. Great summer. Enjoying it. Enjoying the weather before it gets cold and not nice at all. How's it
It's
going?
cold here right now. I'm waiting for summer, waiting for spring actually.
It's already cold in Australia.
Yeah, we're going into spring, or in a couple of weeks we're going into spring.
Okay. Well, how's it going? Matt Mass, uh, Nasi, Nacci. Is that Nasi? I don't
That's
know.
a good question.
How's it
I'm a
going?
loser for rocking a LGC1. What? For an LGC1 in 2020? No, I have my LCCX still. What are you talking about? You're not a loser. Why?
Well, I mean the newer TVs they are brighter, of course,
Yeah.
but mainly the full screen brightness. They have they can show you a higher APL, but there's a lot of scenes on the darkness. Like if you were playing a horror game or something like that, if there are no highlights or something, you're getting that same, near black quality. You're getting your perfect blacks, you're getting the contrast. So, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Correct. Yeah.
We could, of course.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. I'm still using my G2 here in the background. I was thinking about maybe getting the G4, but they're again asking over 5,000 Australian dollars here, and I said, nah, it's nah.
How much was the S95C?
I paid 4,200. Yes.
Wow, so $800 more.
Yeah. So the Samsung is cheaper. Samsung is cheaper. Yeah.
That's crazy. Let me see how much is 5,000 Australian dollars in US.
Let me just quickly. Maybe there's a 65-inch. What is the 65-inch at this very moment? Yeah, still $5,300.
So that is.
65-inch.
Oh, you're saying 5,300.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Let's see how much is that in US. That's $3,500 US. That's a lot of money for 65-inch. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, if you could, no, it's too much at the moment. Full stop. I spent so much money in the last years for TVs. Starting with the CX, which was already 4,000 something. It was cheaper actually back then. You know what I mean? They increased the prices slightly. So now even there's an offer, whatever you get, maybe you can get the LG G4 in 65-inch for, let's say, also for $5,000 or 4,800 if you're lucky. But consider 5,000 Australian dollars here at the moment with all the prices, and everything is so expensive in Australia. I said, no, I don't want to do this. No, can't do this at the moment.
Well, I mean, the G4 seems to be a very good TV. Like all the reviewers, they're talking about it in a way almost. Like, for example, when they say that, oh, this TV is just next level, I wonder how much better could it be in comparison with the older QD OLEDs, because it is still a WRGB OLED. It might be brighter, but the color saturation shouldn't be better. But the way I see the reviewers talking about it, it looks like sometimes it gives me the impression that they're implying that's even better than the last generation QD OLEDs, and I don't think that's possible when it comes to color saturation.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen a lot of KG or whatever is doing the good comparisons always, with the new TVs and the older ones, and WRGB is really good. So that's the reason why my LG G2 is here and not the S95C is because color fringing. It's really, when you use this as a desktop monitor and you do a lot of like editing and stuff like that, you can see the difference. The WRGB is much sharper, much better for desktop stuff. So that doesn't mean that in games you can see a difference. No way, because in games that the letters like this big, you know what I mean? So there's no difference at all. That's the only difference. That's the only reason why the G2 is actually here. In all other categories, the S95C smokes my G2 full stop. That's how it is.
Yeah, and the other thing is, by the way, we're gonna read the comments. I see we do have some already. The other thing is, I saw that with QD OLEDs, if you have it side by side and you have the same brightness, let's say the level of brightness is exactly the same, QD OLED and WRGB OLED, the QD OLED is going to appear brighter. It's going to appear brighter because of the color saturation, because it's more vibrant. And there's like a study about that. So even when we show them on camera, maybe you see a video and the G4 might be a little, if it's just a little bit brighter and it's side by side with the QD OLED, you would need to be in person there to really, appreciate which one is what's a better, more vibrant picture.
Yeah, And it's not just the colors or whatever on the S95C. Also the panel, there's no dirty screen effect at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
uniform.
So don't get me wrong, the LG OLED TVs are already very, very good, but compared to my S95C, you can see a difference. You know, if you have a very plain color and you're strafing your character or whatever, or you're watching soccer or maybe hockey, you can clearly see the advantage of an W OLED TV from Samsung. You know what I mean? Sorry, a QD OLED TV.
Yeah.
Clearly an advantage.
Yeah, that's one thing where plasmas are incredibly good. Someone commented on the live stream on your channel that, oh, I hope, you know, I'm not praising the plasmas like if they are the best thing in the world. Of course they are not. You know, they're very old TVs and they are very dim. And especially people today, they are, you know, people and companies, everyone is chasing that brightness. And rightfully so, of course. After you have perfect blacks, you know, brighter image is just better. It's that simple. But plasmas, they have some qualities that are superior to some of the technologies we have. I'm not saying that plasmas are better than QD OLEDs when it comes to the screen uniformity, because plasmas have dirty screen effect.
Yeah.
They do have defects. But let me tell you, my plasmas, when I display a full screen color, they are better than the C1, and it's not close. I mean, the uniformity of the screen is so much better, and it's just a inherent quality. So if you don't have dirty screen effect on that specific plasma, screen uniformity is very good. And some people say that QD OLEDs, they remember them to plasmas more than other technologies because of that uniformity.
Yeah, no, I haven't used plasma in years actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
so
they are cheap. Yeah. That's my point. That's what I'm telling people. Sometimes people are asking me, hey, you know, on a budget, should I buy this monitor, IPS monitor that's 32-inch or something like that? I'm like, get a plasma until you get, you know, enough money. Do you save enough money to get that, you know, the latest and greatest? I think is a very good option to just temporarily, you know, wait for a newer TV.
Yeah, you're right. Let me bring up this one here from Bruno.
Hey, how's it going, Bruno? He's one of the you know, very most knowledgeable people that pop on the channel. He knows a lot. He knows this stuff.
So Arting's findings on improper heat management on edge-lit TV and how the manufacturer do not acknowledge the systematic failure. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they not acknowledge this.
I saw a thumbnail popping. I saw that video, the thumbnail popping. I haven't watched it, but you know, my impression is right away. I think it's because they are very thin, because they're trying to make LCDs very thin for the sake of, you know, being, you know, better looking or more attractive to people. Because people now go to the store, they see the QD OLEDs, it's like a paper, and they're like, wow, that's, you know, amazing. So they want to make LCDs very thin too, and then you're sacrificing cooling, and that's not a good idea. It's like Apple products. You know, they want to make a laptop that's like, you know, paper, and then it's overheating.
Yeah, and then they start a game, and then, you know, 60 frames, 15.
It's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. So I think that's where the issue is coming from.
Oh, we have Craig Hopkins. Shootouts results just released. A95L beats G4 and S95D. I'm not surprised about the S95D because I think it's not a good TV this year with the panel cutting, to be honest. But G4, I would need to see the results, of course, here.
So is that final? Like, is that the final results or the
I have no idea. Maybe I can look something up, but I'm not sure.
So I mean, that's what I said, and you can go back to the Brian's Tech Therapy video, the first one before the shootout, and I posted a comment there, and I said, A95L might win, but I think it should be the G4, and the reason is, you know, S95D matte finish. So for me, that's a no-go. I saw the S95D side by side with the S90C on the store, and I made a video about it. It looks washed out. Of course, the lighting conditions on the store,
That's the problem. You have to watch it
it's
in the
a
dark.
problem. I have to watch it in a dark room.
Yeah.
But the techs there in the store, they were telling me the same thing. They see it. It looks washed out. The matte finish is a no-go for me. Even, I don't know, I would need to see it in a dark room, but I dislike it a lot. There's a YouTube channel that I've been watching for a while now. His name is the Display Guy, and he has other YouTube channel that's very, very big. So he's very good with YouTube. He knows his stuff, and he has been hammering it on the matte finish. Like, it's terrible, and he shows a close-up of a matte finish, like very close, the camera like right there, so you see the blurriness. And it is such a big difference, a matte finish versus the glossy, and the sharpness. When it comes to the sharpness of the image and the clarity of the display, is a huge difference. And he uses a technique to try to improve the matte finishes. He puts like a coating to make it a little bit glossy using like a product. He uses that. And he shows the before and after, and the difference is huge. And that's not even, a real glossy versus matte. So yeah.
I have different opinions here, because I actually like matte as well. The finishing, but not on the S95D. To be very, very honest, so the S95C is, yes, when you turn on light, you can see it's not dark anymore. Not like on my CX or G2, but the what is the name? The handling from the what is the name? The reflection handling.
Yeah.
On the S95C is so much better compared to my TVs. It's like day and night. Full stop. Okay, so that's why I like it better. But again, I can agree that some people like the glossy finish better. It just looks a little bit more poppy. You know what I mean? So it's maybe you're right. It's something like sharpness and stuff like that. Yeah, probably.
I mean, we have cell phones glossy, the watches we have glossy. So I mean, the only thing that still have a matte finish is the cheap office monitors.
Yeah,
so,
probably because of reflections. That's
yeah.
That's the main reason, probably. And for office monitors, to be honest, I mean, yes, go for it, because you have a lot of lighting. But watching TV, playing a game or whatever should always happen in a dark room.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I thought the A95L should win again if they are, of course, judging based on the same criteria. And it is because the G4, yes, is brighter, but it's a WRGB OLED. So you cannot tell me this year that, okay, no, now the G4 is better because it's brighter. Because the reason why QD OLED is winning, those same reasons are still holding true. And this year you have the S95D with the matte finish, and then you have Sony with the mini LED TV. So the mini LED TV is not gonna win the shootout. So that's why I thought, based on their criteria, the A95L should win again. And it also, the A95L got a firmware update that changed the picture for the better, they were saying. So it was a little bit brighter, all the stuff. So yeah, it makes sense that it won. The thing I don't like about Sony, based on the reviews that I've seen, is that they don't let you turn off the TPC and GSR, the dimming to protect, like you can on the LGs. They don't let you turn that off, and that's a big problem.
On my G2, they prevented this now with a firmware update. So you can't do it with the service remote anymore. You should check your TV after a couple of updates.
Yeah, I did check. Maybe they updated the service menu to be like the G3 and G4, but there is still the real service menu is still there. And if it doesn't work with a remote, you can use the color control app on the PC, and then you do it. So yeah, the thing is that Sony doesn't let you do that, and that's that's a deal breaker to me. I don't know how bad it is when you're gaming, but when you're gaming, you always have a low, a mini map, something that's static on the screen. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the only disadvantage probably on the OLED TVs. But on the other hand, that's not a reason not to buy one. That's
We have a
that's how.
super chat. Let me highlight this from Rob Beard. Ariel, great to see you live again. I just picked up a 55-inch LG G4. Amazing TV. Do you have any good settings guides for gaming? Also, could you explain dynamic tone mapping versus HGIG? I mean, I've never play around with the settings on the G4, but LG is very consistent with the settings. I have a friend that has a C3, and I've been on the store just playing up and down with the settings, and they are about the same. About the same when it comes to lowering screen brightness and this and that. So the settings that I share on the channel, you can apply that to any LG. It's gonna be accomplishing about the same thing. But of course, the G4 is a lot brighter. And on the G4, now you also have these tone mapping options that I think are great, which is basically these tone mapping options on the G4 let you tweak the roll-off point. So when you select tone mapping off or dynamic tone mapping, you have these settings. When you go to the secret HDMI signaling override menu, so you step on select mode and you type in 111.3.111. When you have tone mapping off or dynamic tone mapping, you can select there the master in pick max CLL setting. And what that does is you're selecting what is the tone mapping. For example, the content is 4,000 nits by default. That's the tone mapping that the TV is gonna do. So you don't have to do anything. Okay. So, but even in that case, on the G4, C4, you have the option to select the roll-off point. So what that means is basically the compression that's happening. So if you roll off at 50% signal level, you are compressing the highlights less. So you can see more detail, but it's going to look less punchy. It's gonna have a little bit less punch. So if you want more punch, you can now on the C4 and G4, you can change that and make it roll off later. So then the highlights are more compressed. So what I would do is I would use some test patterns. I haven't been able to test this. And then try to roll off as late as possible so it looks more punchy. So you get that more HDR effect. But you want to make sure that you're not rolling off at 100% and then you're not compressing, like the highlights are not being, the details are being lost because it's just you're not giving it enough space. So those are the options you have in the G4. So but the same thing I share applies. If the game is 1,000 nits and you cannot change it, or 1,500 or 2,000, you cannot change it because you don't have a slider on the game and you're using a console, you don't have reshade to change anything, then you need to know, okay, what's the game maximum peak brightness? You can watch a GamingTech video. He makes always a video, well, almost always, when it comes a major release, GamingTech is gonna tell you, okay, the maximum peak brightness of this game is 2,000. Okay, and so you go to that menu, you select master in pick max CLL 2000. You go to that HDMI signaling override menu. And then after that, you go to these new settings, and then you're gonna try to roll off as late as possible. So it looks more punchy, but you don't wanna lose details. So you have to test, basically. I haven't had the chance to test those settings, but I think it is very, very cool. And HGIG would be the best option if you can change the in-game peak brightness. So you would use HDR. So yeah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, it really also depends on games, but most of the time I'm recommending HDR over dynamic tone mapping on. Dynamic tone mapping off without changing some settings on the TV is never a good idea, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are just a few games where you have, let's say, 10,000 nits peak brightness or whatever, where dynamic tone mapping off suddenly looks better because the TV is just not capable of doing 10,000 nits with HDR or dynamic tone mapping on because it's just too much. But there are just a few games, maybe 2 out of whatever,
You
so most of the time.
You showed Dead Space to the remake. I think you showed it was like 4,000. So then off. I think you said you recommended there off, if I remember correctly. You want 4,000.
Yeah, because but again, it depends also, of course, on the TV. So nowadays, probably if you now have the G4 with let's say around 1,500 nits, that's a complete different story. I would need to retest this compared to my CX or G2. If off, then still is the right way to do.
Yeah, but if you have a PC, yeah, I'm sorry. So if you have a PC, always HDR, because if the game doesn't have slider, you're just gonna use reshape, and you're gonna adjust. You're gonna change the content to always be. So the ideal thing is that the content is absolutely perfect for the TV. So if the TV is 1500 nits and HDR is set to hard clip at 1500 nits, and it's the most accurate setting that the TV has, so it's going to follow the EOTF as closely as possible, then you want to change the content to be exactly that with reshape. And if it looks a little bit dim or something like that, you can always change it, and make it look the way you want, basically.
Yeah. But at the end, I have many people that like dynamic tone mapping on because in general it's brighter. It's because the average picture brightness is just brighter. The specular highlights are exactly the same, but you lose, of course, a lot of this difference between dark and bright. That's I can understand that why some people like it over HDR, but yeah. So in general, TVs must be much brighter. That's the problem. And I know what people saying. Oh, we have mini LED TVs that getting, I don't know, 4,000 nits or whatever in 1% or 2% pattern or whatever. Yeah, that's fine, but still, that's not enough, to be honest. I mean, at some point it's too much because you can't watch it anymore. But you need you would need to have a proper, how should I say, brightness over all the whole screen. Not just a 10% window should reach 2,000 nits. It should be also possible, let's say, for a 50% window. Even you don't need it, but you don't have dimming then. That's the point. You don't have this aggressive dimming, which sometimes is really annoying. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only thing I'm wondering is what would happen if you are watching a very bright scene. If we finally have 10,000 nits full screen, and sometimes developers they enjoy to have a white screen, like boom in your face, and then right after that, we are a horror game, like we are in the darkness. I think it takes a moment to accommodate to be able to see that, even with the brightness we have today. So let alone 10,000 nits. So developers, they definitely have to think about HDR. You're gonna give me like a full white screen on my face because it's gonna.
I mean, it's the same. Just that's probably what hopefully never happens. But just think about when you go to work in the morning and you have a sunrise, and then you go over a hill, and this happens every day when I'm driving to work, because then there is the sun rising up over the ocean. Beautiful view. But we're talking about, I don't know how many nits you're getting in your face, and it's not nice. It's not nice because you go over the hill and it's actually more or less, let's say, average brightness, I would say. Some cars driving still with light, and then you're reaching the peak from the hill, and then suddenly the sun. And at this very moment, you can't see anything. You know what I mean? It takes you a couple of seconds to adjust of this, and you can't have this in a game or in a movie. It doesn't make sense. Even that would be the reality. That's how it is. But don't want this because you never watch this movie again, because it's just hurting your eyes. So that's something, At some point, it's too much. But what is the point? Because people are different as well. You know, some people saying that's fine. We have another super chat from Brand. Thank you very much. Has LG reached the limit of OLED technology? Yes, I would say so. They just can do some fine adjustments, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing. If you're getting the G4, I think you're probably getting like the most polished, WRGB you're ever gonna get, like the pinnacle of the WRGB technology. Because after they come up with, this phosphorescent blue, and they improve the subpixel, and they don't need the W anymore, so we can get through RGB. This is gonna give you a better color vibrancy and all of that. They're just gonna be different. It might be better, but WRGB, yeah, I think that's like the pinnacle already. Like, it's not gonna get a lot better than what it is.
To get the TVs brighter, you need to have the white pixel needs to be brighter, and that reduces the color volume at some point. You know, if you have just you can see this on so many side-by-side comparisons from KG or also from Glassy, that especially when you have red colors, orange colors, yellowish colors or whatever, the QD OLED TVs are just vibrant. I'm not saying that they're not oversaturated. Don't get me wrong. The LG TVs are undersaturated at this very moment, in my opinion. But then we need to consider, because if we would do a proper calibration on both TVs, really professional calibration, is there so much of a difference or advantage from QD OLED for the most of the material what we can watch? Because as I prove in many in my videos, the HDR color space is hardly used. So yes, there is still an advantage for QD OLED. But if they would use proper HDR color space and make the games, especially comic-style games, more colorful, the QD OLED TVs would be looking very bad, to be very honest. But
yeah, I get what you're saying. Basically, if the content is right, the QD OLED
because it's HDR colors.
Has the potential to just look so much more vibrant than WRGB. But I wanted to say something to the point of more brightness, achieving more brightness. I think it's not only necessary; it's something that I want, because we can use that brightness to then improve the motion. Okay, when you have more brightness, you have the option to use the technology to reduce the persistence. The pixel visibility time is what is going to limit the motion clarity. So what happens is you have to make the TV blink, like flicker somehow. And when you do that, you lose brightness. So let's say you have 10,000 nits, and you are going to show the frame once 1/10th time. You're basically dividing those 10,000 nits divided by 10. You still have 1,000 nits. So basically, you can improve the motion 10x, and by reducing the brightness 10x. It's that simple. Of course, you are gonna reduce the brightness a little bit more than that, because it's not perfectly linear, and you're always losing something. But I want more brightness because of that. Because if we have a display capable of 30,000 nits, maybe you don't want to see 30,000 nits because your eyes are gonna hurt, but you can use that power to improve the motion instead of to get more HDR impact.
So Matt is here as well. Hey Matt, how are you? Long time no hear. And he's saying you're always mixing yellow, blue, white into every color on WRGB. Yeah, which of course is a big disadvantage, because if you like to have something green, you don't want to have blue in this. You know what I mean? Of course not. So it doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I mean, he's right that when he's saying QD OLED will always look better than WRGB. It's not just because of how QD OLED is capable of showing colors. it's also because of the whole panel technology, you know, because you have no screen effect. It's just so much better. It's like a, I wouldn't say, again, it's not like day and night, but when I'm playing a game on my CX, my first OLED TV, which is still a great TV, and you have a blank color, or like the horizon, and you move around, you can see some sort of dirty screen effects, very minor, okay? But at some point, you're getting, if you focus on this, you know what I mean. It's a pain in the ass, okay? And then you go to my S95C, and I play the same game, and I try and find something. There's nothing, literally nothing. On test pattern, of course, you can see some sort of things, but we're talking about 1 or 2% gray test pattern, which is terrible for any OLED TV. And yeah, but doing gaming or watching something, it's so much better, so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing about WRGB OLEDs is that near black. When you're close to 2% gray or something like that, it looks horrendously bad. I mean, like really, really, really bad. And it might be visible in real content if you're playing a horror game and you're panning the camera. Once you notice where you have that, vertical lack of uniformity, then you cannot unsee it. That's what you're saying. Once you notice and you know what the problem is, then it becomes a pain because you cannot unsee the issue.
Yeah. So we have another super chat. Thank you very much. The holy light of Tayu's tight gap. Okay, that's interesting. Nice picture. Hey, after the brightness wars, will TV manufacturer return to focusing on motion clarity? Oh, good question.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Actually, I tested the other day an old Sony TV, an old LCD Sony TV.
This big one, what you have? This.
Yes, it is a 47-inch. It's not very bright at all. But at 60 FPS, 60 hertz, that TV has one of these motion clarity technologies. It's basically blinking the whole screen, I believe. I recorded a slow motion video to post it on the channel. I didn't post it. It looks in very slow motion, the screen is flashing the entire screen completely, and then it's turning off the entire screen. So it's not rolling. It's not like a rolling scan kind of deal like the C1 and the CX do. That TV looks like a CRT. It looks as good as a CRT in motion at just 60 FPS. I showed that on a video following the UFO test at 960 pixels per second. It was crystal clear. It's not perfect. It had some minor, trailing artifacts, and it is different. At the top of the screen, looked the worst. In the middle of the screen, at the bottom, looked better. But my point here is that TV is so fantastic for 60 FPS gaming. The Bravia 9, if Sony just brings back that technology, which I don't think it cost them too much effort because it's something they already know how to do.
Yeah, the problem is people don't care about this, They're just the nerds here. We are, and the chat, yeah. Nerds is actually, it's a good word for us.
Yeah.
We care about this. No one else, That's the problem.
But I just wish what you're saying. I just wish that the brightness war, gets to a point where people are no longer that interested. Oh yeah, it's just plenty bright. It's 500 nits full screen. Who cares? Yeah. More than that, I don't care about that or something. And then they say, okay, well, now the TV is brighter. You don't care about brightness, but with this brightness, we can improve motion. And CRT is back. CRT is history now. This is so much better.
I agree. This should be the next thing what TV manufacturer or display manufacturer actually working on. I mean, I was never into this, or I was not, how should I say, not very experienced in doing true motion stuff or motion testing or whatever. But when I tested or tried out the true motion capabilities from the 2 and CX, I was like, bloody hell, this looks so much better. It looks so sharp when you're moving, even a 30 FPS game like Zelda I tested Zelda. looks absolutely sharp. Not even like a 60 FPS game. It's like whatever, you know. You bloody hell, is this great? But of course, input lag is that's a different story. You can't proper play like that.
No, of
But
course,
then,
the
yeah,
60 FPS on that TV has the input lag of 60 FPS. It doesn't get better than that. Just because the clarity is better, but the input lag is just normal. It's not great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and what is called on the Samsung TV? True, Samsung
Game Motion Plus.
Game Motion Plus, yes. So, and I have to say, this one is also a big improvement over the LG True Motion. It's not as clear or sharp as LG, but the input lag there, it's not noticeable.
Yeah.
And especially when you play games like Diablo 4, where you have a lot of moving, you know, all the time, and you switch between Game Motion Plus on and off. Wow, that's a big step up. And again, I can't feel the input lag. And especially for games like Diablo 4, it really doesn't matter, you know, because you just press all the time anyway. So, you know, but it's so much better in motion. And that's one of the reasons why I actually hardly play. If I play games, I hardly play on the G4. So in G2, I wish I had a G4. I hardly play on the G2. I just play on the S95C because of those features, you know. So, and yes, motion is one of the next big things what they should work on.
But let me tell you, my prediction is way before this brightness war ends, because we still want brighter and brighter TVs. Way before that, I think what's going to change, what's gonna make TV manufacturers care more about motion, is that I believe 3D is coming back. And 3D is coming back as stronger than ever with glassless 3D. TCL has some true RGB OLEDs coming that are being advertised as glassless 3D. As soon as you start 3D and VR, anything that is more immersive, then the need for better motion arises. So these companies are, okay, now we have 3D, now we need better motion. Because this old Sony TV I'm talking about has 3D and it has this motion. So suddenly, I believe that 3D and these motion clarity improvement technologies, they were eliminated together almost. So once 3D comes back, I think 3D is more appealing for a wider audience. Once 3D comes back, I think motion is gonna come back again.
Yeah, let's see. I'm not quite sure about 3D, but let's see. You know, if they integrate it like HDR TVs, you know, and it's working fine, then why not? Yeah, if it's working, good. What do we have here? Do plasma TVs even exist anymore? Yeah.
Oh, you can get them on the used market, for sure. I mean, I was about to buy a $30 plasma TV that was basically the same the one I have, but the next year model, because I have to wait like 2 weeks to get mine back, because I'm still in the process of moving some stuff, and I'm like, I'm not gonna wait 2 weeks, just $30. Pay $30 and get a plasma. People are
the
giving
first
it away.
problems here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a problem. So that's why I have promoted plasma so much, because I think they are great, but I don't mean they are the best TVs. What I mean is they are cheapest. I mean, there's the best value, the best picture quality you can get for the money. If you are here in the US, especially, people just give them away sometimes.
Tim Brussel is asking, you guys watched the TV shootout? No, I did not, to be honest, but maybe I will just watch it later.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
The A95L1, which is not a big surprise, you know what I mean? But I think we have to be honest, because when you look at the score later on, you know, you will see they're very, very close to each other probably. So it's at the end, someone is number 1, someone is number 2, you know. If I would still recommend a G4 over the A95L for gaming, yes, I would. Yes, that's how it is. If you watch movies and stuff like that, go with the A95L.
Yeah. Oh, me
That's
too.
my opinion.
I'm gonna check out the shootout. I was on a pool before the live stream, so I didn't have time. But I like the live streams are my favorite kind of content because I like a long video and I'm just practicing playing my guitar. So I'm gonna watch the entire thing and I'm just practicing my guitar stuff. That's what I like to do.
Be encouraged is asking, love your content. I purchased LG-G3. However, I'm able to get LG-G4 for additional $600. Should I return an upgrade? That's not a question I can answer because it's your $600. If you can afford $600, then yes, go and upgrade because the G4 is better than the G3. That's your decision.
I mean, I have a friend. There are some people like that. They always have the latest car. So they're paying for the car, the new one comes out, just upgrade, and then you never have a car that's yours. They're always paying. And I even have a friend who does that with houses. Okay. He doesn't want to be on a house that's more than 5 years old. So he's always buying a new house. And yeah,
And
that's
you have
how
to
he
pay
is.
more. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah. So if that's maybe you are like that, of course, do it.
It's up to you. If if I would have the money, I would upgrade every year, full stop.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's just about money.
If
you're, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Now, if you find to upgrade or if you find to spend $600 more on a G4, then just go for it. You will not regret it. If you don't mind the $600. But if you have to take a loan or whatever, then don't do it. Okay.
I mean, $600 is like another TV. I mean, the S95B dropped to like $800, and TKK got one for that price. And I was saying, he told me, and I went to the store, and they run out of them. It was like a sale, like the clearance. They're just getting rid of the inventory they had left, and yeah, I couldn't. I didn't. I was gonna buy one because $800 for S95B is like, 55-inch. That's like so cheap.
That's good. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you play games, if you're using your G3 for gaming, maybe the G4 does makes a lot of sense, and it is a significant upgrade because you have this color boosting going on outside of game mode on the G3. So when you're on game mode, you're not getting this color improvement, and on the G4 you are getting that improvement. Although it is not as good as Cinema Home and all the rest of the picture modes, but it is better. So if you're gaming, maybe it is going to be a significant upgrade. Yeah. And on the G4, you also have these tone mapping options that we were talking about before. So it might be worth it.
So let me have a look. What do we have here? What is this here? AMF frame generation tests show how low latency and fluid motion, of course, FSR has fewer artifacts. Am I missing something? I mean, we're talking now about AMD versus, well, it is FSR 3 versus FSR 2. I mean, my only opinion about this is NVIDIA is still better. But AMD is for free. See? That's how it is, So I'm actually, I said this so many times. If I okay, it's probably wrong, but if I wouldn't enjoy the features what NVIDIA has with NVIDIA's broadcaster, NVEC decoder, AV1 stuff, and whatever, you know what I mean? For gaming, go with AMD card all the time. If you're just gaming, AMD is the one to go. NVIDIA is just way too expensive, and yeah. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Hey, let me choose a comment here. I haven't been reading the comments. So we have here Team Brussels. I don't know why it's not working when I hit it. He says, Ariel, you might be able to find an S90C for $800. Yeah, I'm gonna get a QD OLED. I'm gonna buy a QD OLED for the family. I'll still play on the C1, but of course I'm gonna make some videos. So probably closer to Black Friday, I will get an S90C. That's the TV I have in mind, unless something else comes. I saw the S90C side by side with the S95D, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I like Samsung has the flexibility. You go to the service menu and you get more brightness, all of that, and also the S90Cs you can get today. They might have more recent panel than the ones at release. So you're getting something even better than what you could get at the release date. So
Yeah,
at release date, you could get it on the 77-inch, but not on the smaller sizes. And now you get a smaller size, you might get that second gen QD OLED.
Correct. No. Again, S90C, S95C is a good choice. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. What else do we have? Upgrading house is not a bad idea. Oh, this was the comment. Sorry, I was looking for this. You might be able to find S9 for $800 at 55-inch.
Yeah, he says. He also says, yeah, a couple settings to fix the BT2020 and HDR, and service menu to S95, and you're set. Yeah, what he's talking about is the calibration of the BT2020.
Yeah, I'm using actually Matt's recommendation. He's a professional calibrator. I'm using the BT2020 setting for all the content, and you have to change the color management. I get it. It's not particular calibrated for my TV. Of course, the settings what he recommends from his TV, from my TV, but it's actually really nice. I mean, you can see immediately if you have oversaturated colors, if you watch movies with a lot of skin tone color, you know what I mean? That's a very good actually test where you can see it's oversaturated, whatever. And with his settings, I really like it. It's really good actually.
And how much do you have to do? Do you have to change the colors too much, or is it something simple? Like, what do you have to change?
The color management. So you go into so not just the colors, you're not just reducing the colors, because if you just change actually to BT2020 and you wouldn't do anything, you have a red screen. You know what I mean? Something like that. So you have to reduce the colors a little bit, and also you have to go into the color management for each color, for blue, for blue, green, cyan, and magenta and stuff like that, and change this also according to his recommendations. So, and again, it's of course not perfect because it's not from my TV, but nowadays I have to say that the TVs are much closer to each other than 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. So, and on the other hand, you would probably really need to have a side-by-side comparison, a perfect calibrated or reference monitor, and then compare with your. And it doesn't mean that I like the reference monitor better. So maybe you like your settings better. It's always a little bit of a
Yeah, and that's probably. I mean, if it's not of course, that's not 100% accurate. It's probably 90% or something.
Yeah. S95C is brilliant on paper, but you only struggle with software issues like motion problems on top. Samsung has bad quality control and returned mine. So motion problems, I never had motion problems. So he's talking about the S90C. I have the S95C. I'm not sure if there's a big difference in terms of that, but in terms of motion, I never had a problem, to be honest. So there's the issue with this bloody one box, which is really a pain in the ass, because the only HDMI cable what I can actually use are fiber HDMI cable. As soon they're longer than, let's say, 3 meters, I have issues, So not with 60 hertz and whatsoever, but as soon we're talking about HDR, VRR, and 120 hertz, if the HDMI cable is longer than 3 meters, you have sometimes blackout, I'm using HDMI fiber cables and everything is gone. I have a 15-meter cable from my PC here in the other room, and it's working flawless. So, but this is something I cannot agree. This is Samsung needs to work on that.
I mean, I was actually surprised with that old Sony TV I was talking about. I saw some of my people, they were watching content, regular, 24 FPS content on that TV, and I was like, man, that looks okay in motion. In comparison with my C1, I think it was looking better. But the problem is the content is too low. I mean, 24, 30 FPS, even for regular content, is too low. I'm watching the Olympics, 30 FPS. You cannot see well. Sports are very fast. You need more frames. So I think the whole industry and everything, they need to change their old standards. If it is a limitation with bandwidth or something like that, I might understand, but I don't think that's the problem. Because
not nowadays anymore.
Not nowadays. I mean, it's enough for 4K. I mean, anything is enough for 4K. I don't think the infrastructure is there. I mean, actually, now that I moved, by the way, my internet now is totally.
I saw it, and bloody hell, your upload is the same as the download. I don't know why they're restricting this here in Australia. I don't get this. But our download speed is the same, more or less, 1 gig, something like that. And you have also upload speed 1 gig.
No, but here too, a lot of companies, they give you a lot less upload, maybe because most people don't use the upload so much, so they. But I don't know why
if they don't use it. Then just give it to the people. If they're not using it, you're not losing anything, as a company, or not. What I'm thinking wrong? Or,
I don't understand why they do it. But the thing is, I have available up to 8 gigabits, of course. So that would be like 1 gigabyte. That's crazy because 1 byte is 8 bits. Yeah, so 1 byte is 8 bits.
About roughly 500, 600 megabyte download rate then?
No, 1,000. I'm talking about 1,000 megabytes. Okay. Yes. I mean, if my math is right now, I might be making a mistake. But 1 byte is 8 bits. So when you have 1,000 gigabits per second, if you 8 times that, then you have 1 gigabyte. I think that's very simple. I don't think I'm making a mistake on that now. So the thing is,
would be crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to take advantage of that speed unless I get a card for my PC or something like that. I cannot even use it right now.
That's correct. So you need a whatever card. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah,
but
I actually upgraded my internet, and I had a very interesting observation, because all what you do, you just upgrade, and they turning on a switch or whatever, or they're checking a box, and then that's it. That's all what they're doing. So it was done in 10 minutes actually. So they got an email and say, yeah, your internet upgrade is done. Okay, went to speed test. Shit, the same. Fucking hell, what the hell is going on? Checked all my stuff. Put a LAN cable to my router and stuff like that. No, nothing. Still the same. And then I changed the LAN cable with 50 centimeter LAN cable. Was between the NBN modem and my Wi-Fi router. So I changed this. This was delivered, or was included back then with the NBN. And I changed this. It's probably just a Cat 5 or whatever, and changed this to a 2-meter Cat 6 whatever, and I had suddenly my 900 whatever something. This was really interesting because wow. So if you have ever problems, cables is very important.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe you should have noticed that way before.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, so what is going on in gaming? You know what I mean? I have no idea. So I have to admit, people that my subscribers, they know I haven't done any videos lately. I have to admit, I'm not motivated at all, right now to do videos. I don't know why. Maybe that's the time of the year. Maybe because whatever going on in my life, So it's just a little bit of a down at the moment. I hope I'm getting back to the normal motivation at some point. I mean, that's a good start today, with the live stream, and I try that we do this probably every weekend from now on, if we have time. But you just need to make time. I mean, that's how it is, you know.
I mean, the thing, what happens to me, especially, I guess you might have a similar thing is your life gets complicated, you get busy, and then you turn on the PC and you have to decide between playing a game or trying to figure something out to make a video. And sometimes, like, I mean, I bought this, I was showing this to you, asking you, I bought this thing, $7 on a
$7. I don't know where you got the stuff. Really.
I bought it. I bought it in one of these donation stores that we have in the US. And then I'm trying to figure it out how to use it. And I'm like 1 hour, and I still cannot play any game with this thing. I downloaded a program that's called Joy 2Key. That supposedly it works. Like everything is working, but when I open the game, it doesn't work. So I have to watch a bunch of videos. So that's the thing. You have to, when you don't have a lot of time, you have to decide sometimes between playing a game or making a video or figuring something out. It's tough.
No, I know what you mean. Especially, you know, you're working 8, 9, 10 hours, or usually 8, something, whatever, and then you have to pick up a little one. You know, you prepare food, you do this, you have to clean, and then it's already 9. You know, 9 p.m. And then you think, oh my God, what should I do this now? And I need to be very honest with you guys at the moment. So because it's, you know, you do a video, you put a lot of effort in, and sometimes when I do a video and I do a HDR analyze video, I'm going to bed at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and then I have to get up at 7. So I'm absolutely buggered. And then you look at the video and say, oh, you have 1,000 views for this video. So fucking hell, you know, it's at some point you think, no, it's not worth it. To be very honest, I know, you know, people waiting for videos and whatsoever, but at some point you have to, I can't do this. I have to sleep. I have to, you know, slow down a little bit. And that's what's happening right now.
Well, the thing is, you make a lot more higher quality videos than I. When it comes to, of course, you know, editing and the quality of the video, the production of the video, your content is a lot more complicated. You know, I just hit record and whatever comes out. So
yeah, but it's good.
I understand good, you know?
Maybe I need to go back to this.
I understand you. You know, you put that effort, and you're of course expecting a lot more. And sometimes, like, I release a video, it doesn't get enough views, and I'm like, okay, how long it took me? So it's not a big deal then. But sometimes we think that, you know, we need to do something, this and that, and you do it, and then you don't get the result you were expecting. Like it's impossible to predict if a video is gonna be successful. I watched a video the other day that has like 9 million views, and it's like 40 minutes long. So we think sometimes that we need to make a short video or something. 40 minutes long. It's a guy in the middle of the mountains just telling his story, you know, like what he did or whatever. 40 minutes long. And he was not prepared, no cuts, nothing. But it resonated with people. So yeah, maybe we have to.
I mean, gaming in general is a topic which is not, I wouldn't say it's not popular. It's very popular, but it's not among the popular videos on YouTube. That's how it is. Sometimes really it's just a guy or a girl with an iPhone and talking and showing you shit. Literally. You know what I mean? And they're getting 50 million views or whatever. And you think, bloody hell, you know, I have my fucking $2,000 camera here, you know, this. And there's just one with an iPhone, you know, blah, 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 and getting, why? Because it's the top. It's the you know, topic what people like to see. You know, gaming is popular, but not like other stuff. That's how it is, you know, unfortunately. But I like to do this rather than showing how I cook my food. You know, it's not doing that.
Let me see if I can highlight. Man, I don't know why it doesn't highlight the comments here. So BeamUp says the QMA has 60 and 120 hertz BFI iHard UAN has bad posterization and no 60 hertz BFI. I would like, see, one thing this TV reviews are missing sometimes is to test the motion settings. Like even HDTV test sometimes, he doesn't tell you clearly exactly, how good the option is or not. Sometimes he says something like, "Oh, it flickers, so yeah, we turn it off." So yeah, that's not fair because the thing is, flickering perception depends on the person. You might see flickering on a specific TV because of those settings, and I might not see flickering at all. One of the things that impressed me the most about that old Sony TV I've been talking about is that I was not able to see any flickering whatsoever. So that's why for me it was such a big deal. But maybe someone else.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. So back in the old days, when we had the CRT TVs or whatever, were you able to distinguish the 100 hertz TVs from the 50 hertz in the shops?
So the problem with CRTs is when you lower the hertz, you do see flickering. It's very annoying. Like if you
I
go
saw
below,
it like crazy. We went to the store with my parents back then, and they bought a new TV. And there was this big wall of TVs. So back then in the days, the shops doesn't bother about lighting and whatsoever, But there was this big wall of TVs, and you can see 50. So I didn't know what this is because I was a little one, you know what I mean? But I said, no, I don't like this. This is flickering. And my dad said, what are you talking about? It's the same like this. So no, this is clear. It was like bloody hell. And then I learned over the time, this is 50 hertz, this is 100 hertz,
Well, maybe you are more sensitive to flickering. Yeah. Some people are. So the thing with CRTs, I understand your question. Like, what's the point of having 100 hertz or 60 if on CRTs the input lag is as low as possible? Some people say none, okay, because it's analog. So no input lag. And when it comes to motion clarity, at 60 is so good for the screen size that you cannot perceive if it was better, like because you cannot eye track faster than to notice that improvement. So what's the point of having a CRT that's 100 hertz or 50 or 200? The point is flickering. You get less flickering. So yeah, there's a threshold. So basically, there's a threshold where you are not gonna perceive any flickering, and it's good enough, and you don't need more frames. But the thing is, that might not be so good for these companies, for the industry, and all of that. Because imagine, it is possible. I know it is possible right now to give you a TV, 60 FPS. You don't need more than that. 60 FPS looks like 1,000 frames per second. You have no input lag to bother you. No flickering. Is bright enough. So you don't need anything else in life. You stop watching TV content. You're set. That's not good for these companies. Don't want that. They don't want that. You have that TV, and then you don't need to upgrade your GPU. You don't need to upgrade your PC because you don't need more frames. So yeah, that's not good for the industry.
Of course not. But that's with everything, doesn't matter, No, iPhone 16 has also something brand new. You must have it. It's normal, but anyway. So what is going on with gaming in general at the moment? So is there anything? What is Game Pass? Has anything released? Literally, I haven't. This is the first time I think in days that I'm sitting in this office here. In days, really. That's why. Again, again, I'm very glad that we do this today because I need to get to my old motivation. I didn't get to almost 40,000 subscribers that I'm saying, no, I'm done with that. I'm not done with that. It's just a time in the year, whatever, where I'm just
Yeah, I think that the motivation comes when you just start doing content. Like, you remember why you do this. You like the engagement. Just do it. And the same thing happens to me. 15 days without making a video. What am I going to say? I am out of the loop. I don't know which game is coming. The same thing happened to me. I know right now, I mean, the chat can tell us better, but I know right now, this month, Black Myth Wukong. It's a game I've been waiting for a long time because it's a Souls-like game. Combat looks very good, graphics and everything. And the Star Wars game from Ubisoft is coming this month. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I mean, to be honest, there was also not much going on in terms of new games lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New games. You know, of course, we have releases of many games every day, but it's not like a AAA game. Okay, what people are interested in. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. Yeah, looking forward for the Star Wars game because I like the franchise actually. So I like let's say I like Star Wars. You know, and let's see how this works out. I haven't seen all the trailers or all the gameplay trailers so far, but what I have seen, it looks nice. In terms of Wukong, it's not my type of the game probably, but I will test it out in terms of HDR. I hope there is HDR. You never know nowadays. Pretty sure Star Wars has HDR because it's Ubisoft, so we will have Ubisoft HDR, which is our own standard.
Oh, I like a lot the engine. The engine they're going to use for that Star Wars game, I think, is the Snowdrop engine. I'm not sure. I think that's the one. That's the one they use on the Division, which looks very good. I mean, that's the one they use for Avatar. That Avatar game. So it looks very good. The one I'm concerned about is the Black Myth Wukong is using Unreal Engine. And yeah, Unreal Engine can look very good.
Yeah.
And it can, and sometimes it can look, depending on the developers and what they're looking for, it can look very blurry and full of, you know, all the post processing things that I don't like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. It's interesting, yeah, because you have the newer engines and stuff like that, and actually the game's looking more blurrier than ever, which is crazy, you know.
It is.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, we're talking about perfect motion on the TV. Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
And then you move the camera, you see all the ghosting coming from the source from the game.
Yeah. So what's the point?
I mean, like Rain. I opened the other day this game that I couldn't play at release, the Vanishers. I think you made a video about it. And the rain, when the rain was dropping, the ghosting was so long. I mean, it was looking like the Matrix. The rain was basically the Matrix. So much ghosting behind the. It was really bad. So yeah, I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is great. You see all these videos, you know, billion triangles and all that. And that might be true. But the thing is, for some reason, these developers get the anti-aliasing or DLSS or the temporal thing. They don't tweak the parameters right, or I don't know why, but sometimes it looks very blurry. And then on top of that, you know, they start adding movie-like post-processing, film grain, chromatic aberration. So you were complaining about
great. I like it. Fucking, it's crap.
It's so bad. I mean, it's chromatic aberration. You were talking about the QD OLED that you were noticing a small thing on the text. So basically, we're talking about the TVs being as good as possible. But then even if you have that ideal TV, they're still gonna screw it up and your TV doesn't have fringing. Here is chromatic aberration in your face. Like, what?
Yeah, and you can't turn it off.
Yeah. And you need a mod, or you need to wait for a mod to turn it off.
Have you seen? So I made a newer video about Resident Evil 2, or was it 3? You know, because there was still the question: does this game has elevated black levels? And with the new analyzing tool or whatever, it's easy to test actually. And yes, we have elevated black levels, and we don't. You know, at the same time, it's creator's intent. I proved it. You know, you go in this bloody room, you have perfect HDR black level floor. You go out of the room, bam, like this, 0.5. So And what can you now recommend? You know, I'm not don't use reshade and change your HDR black level because then you have crashed black. You know, it doesn't work. You know, so that's creator's intent. I'm not agreeing on that, but yeah.
So you know what I think it is? The fog. The fog.
Yeah. They're trying to what is that? Simulate this kind of stuff, you know. But it's no. It's still, if you have a foggy day or whatever, you still have perfect HDR black level.
Yeah, you should definitely.
That's the thing, you know.
You
But that's
should.
how they doing this. Yeah. And with HDR everything, because they're probably not doing a proper color matching or stuff like that. It looks even worse than SDR. You know, that's how it is. You know,
So one
it's not,
thing you can do to fix that is there is a reshade add-on that can let you remove some things, and you can remove the fog completely from the game, like one click. So what you have is called shader toggler, I think. It takes a lot of work because basically with this thing you start testing shaders. You go one by one, and once it disappears, you know, okay, this is what it is, and then you can remove it. So when you remove the fog, I tested that in Lies of P. I removed the fog completely, and the game looks so clear. It looks so crisp. Of course, the creative intent goes down the toilet. You have no fog on the game. So I don't want to play the game without fog, but turning it on and off, I would say, hey, you know, just turn the fog down a little bit, man. This is just too much, okay? So that's what I think is going on. Sometimes, you know, they just go too much with this movie-like effect and all this stuff.
Yeah. I would really like to know what screen they're using, you know, when they editing or now when they're finalizing a game, or the color corrections or whatever you call this guy, the artists. What are they using? You know, then they need to use high-end calibrated monitors. I would I would think so, but maybe it's not the case. Maybe it's not.
I don't think it is. I tried Hellblade recently, and it has, you know, supposedly a insignificant black level raise. It's like 0.0003, something like that. But the problem is on my OLED, because of the calibration, and I think this is right to do. Anything that's not 0 is gonna show something. It's not gonna be accurate. So you're not going to see 0.003 nits, of course not.
No.
But you don't see perfect black. So then you have Hellblade with black bars.
Yeah.
And if you put your nose on the screen, the black bars are not perfectly black. So I don't know how, if they tested the game on a reference monitor or even just any OLED, they will notice that the black bars are not black. And that's a problem. They have to be black. There's no creative intent there. That's just wrong. And it cannot be the fog either, because you're not gonna see fog on the black bars.
No.
So
what I have feeling sometimes, because I noticed this with my mini LED back then, the QN95B was it? That there was a lot of, because we're always talking about black level crunch and OLED TVs, but it was worse on this TV actually, and it was actually really bad when you used local dimming in gaming mode. Because sometimes you have games with perfect HDR black level floor. That means in some areas there's really literally nothing but just a lamp or whatever. So the contrast on an OLED TV at this very moment is just wow, because you have this very high specular highlight, and around is nothing, because perfect OLED is just perfect with that. On a QN95B, it was terrible, because the TV actually tried, first of all, to show you the details, but don't want to lighten up the whole area, you know, from the local dimming. So it was actually the specular highlight was not even specular, it was just dim, absolutely dim, and around you had this fog, you know. So, and what I think what some developers are doing to, because also what I noticed, that at some point when you, for an example, I went into the Xbox calibration menu, and you try to figure out when is the point actually when the display can something show you. You had to go actually high, very high, and then suddenly the local dimming kicked in because it recognized something. There's a signal coming. So if I was low, let's say 0.0 whatever nits, nothing was shown. And then you clicked one more, and then suddenly, buff, you had this, because the technology was not recognizing this as a signal. That's why maybe some developer saying, oh, we're sending always 0.5 nits, you know what I mean, to make sure that the TV or whatever is showing all the details. Maybe there's something like
I mean, yeah, definitely. That might be the case. Because maybe they think, oh, most people don't have an OLED, but I don't know anymore because, I mean, OLED monitors and TVs are very common. I mean, I think they are mainstream at this point.
I would say so, yes.
Let me ask you.
I'm not recommending any LED anymore to friends. No, not.
Let me ask you, you had the QN95B, right? So when you play games, you could still use the local dimming with low input lag?
Yes, so I didn't notice any drastic increase or increase of the input lag, to be very honest. So it was much better to play with local dimming on high. I think you still had low and high or off, with off, because off looked awful on an LCD. Full stop. You have always this very washed out picture, and even that, because so many people saying, oh, mini LED, not micro, mini LED is the way to go for. No, I didn't like it. That's the reason why I sold it. Yes, the maximum peak brightness was much brighter, almost no dimming, because of LED. That's what the advantage is. But as soon you play games like Dead Space or whatever, and even the specular highlights are very, very bright, much brighter than compared to my CX back then. Everything else was looking washed out, because in order to show you details, the local dimming or the LED, the backlight had to lit up. And this was, resulted in bad contrast, in my opinion. On OLED, you don't have this problem at all. You have lower average picture brightness in general, yes, but you have perfect contrast.
Yeah, so what I think about mini LEDs for gaming is, of course, what you're saying. To reduce blooming, it is reducing those small highlights. And it might be crushing blacks, you're saying. It might be crushing blacks just to give it more contrast, to have less blooming, basically. So one thing I believe, because the industry, is going to keep LCD, they're going to insist with LCD because it's cheaper, they make more money or something, of course. But I think for gaming, maybe LCD will never be perfect, because even if they keep increasing the zone counts, how many zones do you need? I mean, on an OLED that's 4K, you have like all the pixels are self-emissive, so you have 8 million zones. But the question is, how many dimming zones do you need for it to not matter that much anymore? So basically, you have so many dimming zones that you cannot tell the difference unless it's like a test pattern specifically designed to show the difference. And I saw a video about that. It was very interesting. The display guy, he made a video about that. He had an image, and the half of the image was like squares of the amount of zones, basically. So he was going back and forth. He was basically increasing the amount of zones. So you have the image with this quality, and he's increasing the amount of zones, like if he was increasing the resolution, basically, to determine, okay, how many zones do you need? So what is the point of diminishing returns, basically? So it was 20,000 zones. So basically, after 20,000 zones, if you increase it, it gets better, but it doesn't get that much better.
It also depends on the screen size, huh? And how far you're away and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it would definitely matter. If it's a bigger screen, you need more. But my point, what I was thinking after I watched that video was, okay, maybe, of course, we will get to the point of having 20,000 dimming zones. But here's the thing. You need a local dimming algorithm to make that work. And for gaming, what's the input lag going to be when you have to figure out 20,000 dimming zones to make it work as good as possible? That's going to have some input lag penalty for gaming. And as soon as you turn that local dimming off, you have an LCD, which is trash.
Yeah, but even then, and this is why. So if I would just have the Q95P at home, I would be happy with that, because you can't see the disadvantages of this technology because I had the CX and also my P2 next to it, I was clearly seeing, no, this is not nice. I don't like the picture, how it looks like, especially when you play darker games. No doubt that when I played GT7 or whatever, Gran Turismo, that the Q95P was way better in terms of picture brightness than the two OLEDs. There's no doubt about that. But then we're talking about dirty screen effect and forget about LCD. But anyway, when you play a dark game, Destiny 2, for an example, there was so many specular highlights, but they looked sometimes very dim because the local dimming was not able to determine or to say, oh, I need to brighten up this. But, even when I turn it off, local dimming, it was brighter. It was much brighter than the OLED TV, the specular highlight. But again, everything was washed out grayish. And I even say, because you have always the backlight, what you need actually to show something, it will never be the same as OLED. It can't be. Because of the backlight already, you're introducing some light which is not the source. It's not the same thing. So that even with 20,000 or even more dimming zones, it will never reach the same picture quality as OLED, in my opinion. Can't be.
I mean, even plasma, so it's just 1080p, but it's self-emissive. So you have more dimming zones there. Of course, you don't get the perfect blacks, but we could. They just stopped producing plasmas. They were getting very close to have almost perfect blacks. So I think the choice of insisting with LCD technology is just because it's more money for them. I don't think LCD was the technology to keep improving and improving for 60 years. I think that was a bad call. If they kept improving plasmas, at this point, plasma would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, almost perfect blacks, probably, 4K. I mean, great motion, fantastic colors. I mean, I think it would have been much better for enthusiasts, but yeah, too expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, I mean, I'm happy with OLED. Come on, don't get me wrong. And I'm waiting for real micro LED TVs, affordable ones, because this should be like OLED TVs. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be any difference anymore in terms of contrast, at least contrast. Not sure about motion and stuff like that, of course. But in terms of contrast, micro LED should not be any difference and should be much brighter than OLED.
Here, ASH says that the Hisense UX in 110 inches has 40,000 dimming zones. 4,000 or 40? I think 40,000 is too much. Maybe you type in one zero extra, one extra zero. 40,000 would be crazy for today. I mean, I think that's. But if that's the case, I mean, that TV is gonna be insane. It's very, very good. I mean, I played an 85-inch, by the way, recently. It was the worst LCD. I mean, I'm not gonna say the worst LCD TV I've seen because I've seen office monitors and all of that. But it's very bad. I mean, it's a V8 LCD, but the contrast was trash. No local dimming, nothing. But 85-inch, the immersion was great for gaming. Very, very good. I like the screen size, basically. So yeah, I'm a big fan of those huge TVs. The thing is, they cost like $10,000 or plus. I mean, it's crazy.
Nothing. A week of work and that's it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So just, to continue. So I have this, I don't know if you can see it. Here's my KTC MP, whatever, 32-inch gaming monitor, which I got back then from KTC to do a review on it. And that's a 32-inch with 1100 or almost 1200 dimming zones, okay, for a 32-inch. That's actually pretty good. Much better than my Q95B back then, because I think Samsung had just 700 something dimming zones, and even in a gaming mode it was reduced, because of gaming, because of input lag and stuff like that. But even this KTC monitor, the full screen brightness of this 800 something nits, really good, really good. So I like playing HDR games on this. But again, as soon I'm playing games like Dead Space, even with this very high dimming zones, it's not good.
See, you said it was like 800 nits full screen on your review.
Yeah, I think that's my review, whatever. It was really, I was impressed. But I mean, on the other hand, it's LED, you should expect that.
Yeah, well, that's great. 800 nits full screen, that's no joke. That's a good. But I mean,
that's really bright.
ASH is saying that 40,000 dimming zones, that's correct, and 10,000 nits. I mean, that TV, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I don't like LCD technology. I'm saying that, I mean, I'd much rather have them work on something else. But if you give me a TV that, with those specs, I mean, even if it's, I'm not sure if it's 10,000 nits full screen. It might not be, of course. Might be just 10% Windows, something like that. But still, that full screen, that TV might be like 1,000.
So it's finally a game where we can play Horizon. Horizon. The first part, Horizon. What is that? Bloody hell! I forgot the name. Horizon, not Forbidden West.
Zero Dawn. Yeah,
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, finally a TV we can play this one.
And then we realize it still looks bad.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, if you give me a TV like that, yeah, that's better than OLED. I mean, it doesn't. 40,000 dimming zones. That's gonna be, even at that screen size, that's gonna be so good that at that point in OLED, it's not gonna come even close, because you cannot get that brightness, not even close to that.
No, I agree on that. And talking about maybe then not having perfect black, and I just turn on a little bit light behind the TV, and that's it. All done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you when you get some lights behind the TV, maybe your eyes cannot see very well the perfect black, so then you trick yourself.
Yeah. That's so here. MacBook Pro is like 15-inch and has 2,500 dimming zones. Yeah. I mean, MacBook displays in general are really good on a very high level, but you pay for this.
Yeah, but they are very thin, very thin, and they get very hot. Because Apple is all about beauty. It's all about beauty.
I know. Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. It's just at the end, it's up to you anyway. But even my little one, when he's playing on my OLED screen or whatever, saying, "Oh, this is much better. I like this better." I mean, of course, it's better. Come on, it's better than a cheap LCD screen. Come on. That's how it is, It's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm wondering about that TCL TV. I'm wondering if it has BFI, if it has any backlight manipulation technology. Because, I mean, with that level of brightness, it would be insane. Now, I would be curious to know if you can have a strobing and still keep the dimming algorithm. I guess so. And my guess is that it's gonna be flashing the entire screen, because if it tries to do like a rolling scan, I think it will be more difficult to set up the dimming zone algorithm and all of that. But if it's just flashing the entire screen and then turn it off, I think the algorithm will still be the same. It's just asking it to turn it off for a period of time. So I mean, I think if that TV has blinking, backlight manipulation to improve motion, it can still be very bright and it will look fantastic in motion. I mean, it will be crazy good.
Rebel Dark Angel is writing Xbox Series X broken. HDR PC RGB HDR in Xbox is limited. SDR PC RGB is correct. So first of all, there is literally, don't tell me you see a difference between RGB full and RGB limited. Please don't tell me this. Please don't tell me you see a difference between RGB and YCPC R444. Don't tell me this. But on the other hand, I don't think this is broken. This is probably a bandwidth limitation. Probably. And on the other hand, I would actually recommend because if people asking me, should I set my TV to full or limited, I always recommend limited. And the reason is very, very simple, because as you say, so the Xbox and also the PlayStation, as soon as you use HDR or use 120 Hertz and stuff like that, will always use YCBCR, or the PlayStation is using YCBCR and Xbox is using limited. That means if you force full on your TV, you will have incorrect RGB level match. And YCBCR is always limited. There's no full or whatever. So that's how the signal is. The only distinguish what we have is actually RGB, where we can select between full and limited. But again, there is literally, I haven't seen any difference between limited and full. Not at all. And I think even I'm correct. So even you you would need to use probably the on your setting on your TV the PC setting to actually have an advantage, because even the electronic or how the TV is actually handling the material is probably YCBCR at some point, and then it's limited. So I don't think it's broken. It's just a bandwidth limitation.
Yeah, one thing I did notice right now before doing the stream, I turned on the TV because I changed the HDMI input, and I disconnected the TV. Maybe it was because of that. But the HDMI was set to nothing. So it was like a default. It was not in PC mode, the HDMI. So because of that, I don't have full, 444 pass-through, full chroma. And I am using a high contrast theme on Windows. You've seen it on the videos, where everything is black and then the text is yellow. Mm-hmm. So the color saturation of that test, it is significantly less saturated, and it looks washed out if I don't have the full 444. But that's a very specific,
But this is because also it's text and it's yellow.
Yeah, it's a yellow text and a perfectly black background. I can see that it is a lot. So I noticed, I need to change the HDMI to PC mode, because I saw that the color was, but maybe on a picture I wouldn't be able to see that.
No, I did testing, and yes, as soon we're talking about fine text, especially with different colors, background or whatever, you can start seeing the difference between YCBCR 444, 422, and 420. 420 obviously is very bad. But there is literally there can't be a difference between RGB and YCBCR 444, because it's the same. It's basically the same. You know what I mean? So maybe the TV is doing something different in terms of limited and full. Of course, this can be, but from a source point of view, there can't be a difference.
Yeah.
And even I did the testing with games. So when we're talking about 420 and full RGB gaming, because we're talking about these big letters and stuff like that, there is some kind of a difference, but not when you sit away 2 meters or 3 meters. Don't tell me you can see the difference. It's not possible.
I also noticed that on the Pioneer Kuro on my Plasma TV, because the same, I'm using this high contrast theme. That Pioneer has a PC mode, and it has the modes to watch the TV. And on the PC mode, it has less contrast. The black levels is worse. The black floor is worse, but it allows you for full. I can use full.
Yeah.
And it looks more colorful because of what I'm describing. So I sacrifice having worse contrast, and contrast is the most important thing. I'm sacrificing having worse black levels. The input lag is the same, no different than the input lag, just to have the colors, just to have the full instead of limited. In that case, that specific case. So yeah, I mean, but you cannot. What he's saying basically, if you have a picture or you're playing a game, you go back and forth, you don't see any difference. I don't see it either.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, of course, always on the TV as well, the monitor, what the monitor is doing with the signal as well. Because as soon we are in gaming mode, you don't know what the TV is actually doing with that signal. And the PC mode should be as close to the source as possible. You know, so gaming mode makes, of course, like cinema mode, like vivid mode or whatsoever, makes the game more, you know, more colorful, maybe like this, you know. And yeah, you don't know what is happening, you know. So it's a little bit hard to tell.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read the chat, man. I haven't been reading the comments. I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I have to set up better so I can read the comments. Well, we have a lot of them.
Let me. What do we have here? Yeah, that's what we talked.
So I like this comment here from Bruno George Moraes, because he's very knowledgeable about all this stuff. He's always reading on all this stuff. So he says that a scan BFI is limitation on how many pixels the OLED driver can access. Even 10,000 LED zones is easier. Okay, well, that answers my concern about, you know, all these dimming zones, like how difficult it's gonna be for processing and all that. Another thing I mentioned, that maybe flashing the entire screen might be easier for the algorithm or whatever. But the limitation of doing that, I believe, is that, you know, you need to flash a full screen. So imagine if the TV needs to flash a full screen white, and it has a limitation of power. It cannot flash 10,000 nits full screen white.
Yeah.
You are gonna get a dimmer picture than if the TV needs to just show you a 10% or I mean, instead of 10%, like 8% window size that's scrolling down. Yeah. So you can get a brighter image, maybe potentially, but it depends. If there is an LCD and it doesn't have a limitation with full screen, maybe yeah, you can just flash the entire thing. I don't know. I would like to learn about that stuff with, you know, professionals, and actually collaborate with a display manufacturer and all this stuff. I would like to do that. Because those things are interesting to me. Like, what would be better? And I would like to test it. Okay, let me see how it looks like if you do a rolling scan or if you flash the entire screen. Which one I perceive flickering more? Yeah, I would like to test all that stuff.
But again, it's probably very, very hard, because you would need to have a bunch of people to doing the same test, you know, because as I said, you know, I was seeing the 50 hertz flickering. My dad wasn't. You know what I mean? So
you need more people. Yeah, you need different people.
Yeah, you would need, yeah, and to see what is actually a better way to do it, you know. But I agree. Motion is I mean, motion in general is actually more important than brightness or HDR, in my opinion, because if you have just a shitty motion, then you don't want to play or watch anything, you know. That's how it is.
The thing is, you know, you have all this 4K. When you start playing the game, what are you doing? You're moving all the time.
Yeah.
If it looks blurry.
That's why we're back to the topic 30 FPS. You know? No, I mean, I played Hellblade on the Xbox in 30 FPS, and I got used to it, and at the end I was thinking it's okay. But then I played it on the PC, and I say, okay, it's still crap. There's no point, you know, because the difference between 30 and 60, I mean, come on, it's like day and night already. And then we're talking about 120 hertz. Come on.
Yeah, this Mark Cerny, I think on an interview, he said that he was surprised with how many games were still releasing with 60 FPS. because I mean, I think it's expected for them to have developers use all the power they have available to give you just 30 FPS graphics, because we know on the PC you start increasing resolution and turning up settings, and you just get less FPS. And the thing is, when you're doing a commercial on YouTube or something like that, it doesn't matter that much. And most people have no clue. So when they see those graphics, it might sell the game more. But the thing is, when you actually sit down and play that thing, 30 FPS, it is a very, very difficult to play, to aim. If you're just playing something, you need to aim something.
That's my games. Games like Hellblade are okay because it's just, and I know I got a lot of hate for this, but it's a walking simulator. Come on, just walk the whole time, and it's a very slow game, and it's okay. But again, just sorry, play Fortnite in 30 FPS. It's actually possible. I mean, you can do it on a PC, of course. Just increase everything. It's not nice. 30 FPS is not good. Full stop. That's my opinion. Other people thinking, oh, it's absolutely fine. Or even other people saying they can't see a difference between 30 and 60.
Manuel here says, man, Ariel, you're crazy, man. You made me buy a 43-inch plasma. And I got it for $20. Thanks.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. You get a 1080p plasma for $20.
Not even think about this. Just get it.
A TV for the family to watch just regular content, because most regular content is 720p, 1080p, 30 FPS.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Why would you waste money in something else for the fan? Most people that just watch regular TV would not care at all.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And for gaming, it looks great. He said, I mean, the Nintendo Switch looks phenomenal on a plasma TV. Yeah, 400, 500 watts. That's what it is.
That's the thing, Let's turn it on and you count the. Yeah, okay, that's the downside. Okay, that's the downside. But anyway, do you both still don't have any burn-ins? No, not that I can see, and I don't care at all. I mean, look, most of the time, of course, so in the front of me there's this Pixio OLED screen at the moment, which I'm using on a regular base, and the only thing, I mean, there's screensaver, enabled and stuff like that. Of course, you need to be a little bit more careful compared to LCD. I wouldn't let 24/7 or whatever running the same desktop. Not no, that's not a good idea. But if you just like on my G2, as you can see, that's the Windows screensaver. After 1 minute not doing anything, the Windows screensaver kicks in, and that's it. And the other time I'm using it with browsing, with editing, just normal. No, don't even bother. Don't even bother looking for it.
So that's the thing, that if you always trying to look for the defects on the TV, you're gonna find them. And I think one of the worst defects you can find is dead pixels.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been on the store, and actually I'm gonna make a video about that. Brand new TVs, and I zoom in with my phone camera to see the pixels at the pixel level, and I'm gonna show you a lot of dead pixels. Brand new TV. That's normal. So if you're always looking for the defect, man, you're gonna find it, and then you cannot unsee it after you find it. It's gonna be a pain.
Nah, don't do it. Just enjoy it, And again, regardless of what you buy, you have advantages and disadvantages. That's it. It has to be the best for you, whatever you do,
And the other thing I do for burning, I have. So you use this screensaver that works. You don't have anything static. I just put a black screen, and for the desktop, I make sure that the taskbar is not there. So, but the thing is, even when you hide the taskbar on Windows,
there's one pixel line.
One small bezel. There's a program that you can get from the Microsoft Store. I think it's called TV something. Not TV like TV, is the other B.
It doesn't matter. Even this would burn in. You can't see it.
No, that's right.
You can't see. Yeah.
But if you want to be as careful as possible, once the taskbar is hiding, you don't want to see that vessel.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
You get that app and you remove that vessel. So now, and you don't have any icons on the desktop. So now when you click on the desktop, my TV is completely like zero. It's not displaying anything. And that's how I use it. And the other thing you can do, if you are constantly working with things that are static on the screen, you can change the size of so when you go to display settings, you can change the scaling. So for example, I have 225% right now because I'm far away from the TV reading the comments. You use it like that for a week or something, then next day you just use it in 250% or 220, 200. See, and you change the scaling once in a while. So when you are opening the programs and the things that are static, because they have a different size, they're gonna be on a different location. So you're not gonna burn in the TV like that.
Yeah, but even that, look, I'm using the Opera browser on all my TV PCs. And you have always this O, in the top left, and it's always there. You can't do anything about it. Otherwise, you move your screen or whatever, But and I checked the other day on my CX because I was using this for months and years. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. On this one here, the background, anyway, you notice that's a brand new panel, more or less, because I had the issue with the pixel line.
And by the way, no issues since you changed that.
Sorry, what?
No issues since you changed the.
No issues since I changed that. No. So it looks good, until something happens again. So I'm not happy about this, of course, because I talked to the technicians, and yes, when changing panels on the G2, then it's because of this line, especially this line. I say, okay, so there must be something, with this pixel line. Anyway, hope it never comes back. But anyway, but don't bother about burning. No, I would not. That doesn't mean leave your TV on all the time, 24/7 with the same picture. I'm not saying that, but just use it in a normal sense, We have a couple of this one. Helvetia Bold 1 finished Callisto Protocol download content today. So final transmission. I even haven't finished the game. Great presentation. HDR looked great on my G3. The ending was a stinker. Okay. So about HDR in the final Callisto Protocol, since they actually introduced the sliders, it's better. It's not perfect. The HDR is not good because all what you do actually with the slider, with the what is it called, black level controller, whatever they call it, you're actually changing the gamma. You're making the whole picture darker, or the lower end darker, but you're not gaining more details or whatever, because the game has always this, in standard settings, this very raised black levels, and all what you do is actually, you have here your raised black levels. All what you're doing is you're just pushing this down. So that means you're not gaining any information in this. That's why it just looks odd. If you have a perfect game with a perfect HDR presentation, and you look like Alan Wake 2, and you look in a dark room just with the flashlight light or whatever, and then you compare this with with Callisto Protocol, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you're missing some nits of information in this game. But not saying it's bad, but it's not perfect. It's not even close to perfect.
I haven't played yet Callisto. Yeah. I have not played that yet.
I like it better than Dead Space, but that's just my opinion. Some people saying it's not good at all. I really like it from the presentation. For the graphics are really great. The combat, I think it's really good. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, I have to try. I have so much to play. I haven't beat Lies of P yet. I'm at the very end. I know it has to be the very end. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff to still play. Especially when I play, the games that I like. They are, the Souls-like games are difficult, and when you don't play them in a while, and you come back and you're not good, and it's tough to beat them like that. So yeah.
So here we have Red Dead Redemption 2, AC Origins, Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, AC, better for me. Better HDR off, HDR on, colors washed out. Ubisoft, no good for HDR. Yeah, I think in general, Ubisoft is not the best when it comes to HDR implementations, to be very honest. I'm not sure what you mean with Red Dead Redemption, because Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC and also on console has one of the best HDR ever. That's what I have shown in my video, because there is no HDR black level rate, as other channels actually saying, and it's just really great, you know. But I agree, Ubisoft, it looks like they're putting always the same HDR filter over the games. I don't know how to explain it, you know. You have always HDR black level rays, specular highlights. Nah, okay, but can be better. Should be better.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I mean, I don't think, honestly, we always talk about, the developers messed it up, or whatever they did. The engine that they use to make the games, it already has HDR. I don't think they have to work that much
Yeah,
at all.
that's
It's
what I
just
don't.
turning it on the engine, and I don't know, making sure that the sliders work or something. It shouldn't be a big deal.
You know, nowadays, they're releasing Horizon Forbidden West on the PC and the slider doesn't work. How can this happen? How can this be? You know, I don't get this.
Yeah, it's
And this
really.
is not, it's an easy fix, and so No Rest for the Wicked. It's one of my favorite game, actually. I haven't played in a long time, but I love it. It's still early access. I give it to them, but there's still the issue. At least the last time when I checked, you can't use full screen because then HDR doesn't work. I don't get this. I mean, it's early access. I get this. I understand that, but this is not early access issues, in my opinion. That's a basic issue. You know what I mean? If this doesn't work.
That's crazy. By the way, did you check the Lilium shaders lately?
No, so
He
again.
he improved them. I mean, that's the thing. These big companies, they release a game with an issue. Sometimes they fix it, or sometimes they don't, and they take forever. The modding community and these people that work on Reshade, they are like constantly improving everything, and you see it. You see everything. They polishing it, and I don't know how, if that's profitable for them, or I don't know why, but maybe they do have the passion or the motivation for some reason to do that. But I updated again. I was not playing recently. I've been moving and busy with work and stuff. And I update Risha, and I'm like, wow, this is like so much better. Everything looks so much more polished, and he improves the way the graph looks, and it now works with things that didn't work before. And I see now it has like an RGB. You do the peak brightness, and the brightness, it tells you for RGB separate. So
Yeah,
I don't know why. I mean, if that's useful for something, but it's interesting to me. For example, if I see an image that has more blue, maybe you think, oh, maybe the developers are going for, maybe they have a blue filter, a color filter. If you always see the blue is higher, I don't know if that's useful for something to analyze the HDR, but it's definitely interesting so they keep adding more information. It's very, very good right now. That HDR analysis tool I think it's very, very polished. All the options, everything.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah. Again, I haven't tried it in a long time, but maybe later on I test No Rest for the Wicked again, because they received a lot of updates. Maybe something happens, you never know. But yeah, there's so much to catch up, actually, in terms of gaming. And yeah, the last game I actually played, because I was Oxygen not included. I'm not sure if you've ever heard about this. It's a survival. No, it's not a survival game. It's a simulation game, where you have to provide for your for your colony some stuff like oxygen and stuff. It's fun. You have to look it up. Oh, and Frostpunk. I played actually Frostpunk.
Oh, check it out.
Frostpunk is also good. But in terms of new games, I don't know. I haven't turned on the Xbox in a while. I don't know if there's any new Game Pass games.
Oh, there was a new game that I saw. It's a Souls-like game because what I like is a crab. It's a crab, like this creature that has the claw.
Yeah.
And here you're just fighting as a crab, and it's very fun. It's funny and it's difficult, very very difficult. So I'm gonna check that out. I forgot the name of that game. But it's basically Souls like crab with crabs, basically. I'm gonna check that out. That's it's a recent game from an indie developer. Yeah, go ahead with that comment.
There's a lot of games like Red Dead Redemption 2 that get a bad rep for not going for absolute contrast and pop. Yeah, it's very realistic looking game, especially with HDR. And I mean, if you have watched my video, it's. I don't know if they improved HDR over the time and stuff like that, but when I played mainly the PC version because of the graphics and stuff like that. And because I have a 4080, why should I play 30 FPS on a PlayStation or something like that? And it looks, wow, it looks absolutely fantastic. When you go in the big cities or whatever, and especially in the nighttime, you can see perfect, no HDR black level rays, and then you have this street lights, but it's not, because you can't, back then you had no lights. There was a little bit of electricity and stuff like that, probably, but most of them were this not gas, the other stuff. It's not like bright. You know what I mean? And they simulated this really perfectly, in my opinion. Absolutely nice.
So you know what I think it happens with Rockstar, because they don't improve things sometimes. We have GTA 5. The anti-aliasing on PC is messed up. They fixed it on the PS5 supposedly based on Digital Foundry video that I saw. But on the PC, you increase that MSAA AX, you still have aliasing everywhere. Red Dead Redemption 2 looks kind of blurry. I installed the other day GTA 4, which I never played. I never beat GTA 4 because when that game released, I didn't have a PC that was good enough to run that thing. And I install it and I can only get like 60 FPS. It's locked, and then I have to download mods and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, how to play GTA 4 today, you need to install so many mods. Why Rockstar doesn't fix that? I think that they are so perfectionist, and I don't know why they get so many things wrong, but maybe they are not able to go back and just fix one thing. They're gonna be like, oh no, we're gonna remaster the whole thing and then we're gonna sell it to make money. So I think that's what they're doing. They're probably remastering GTA 4 and then it's gonna be glorious. I hope they remaster Red Dead 2 because there's a lot of.
So for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a reference in HDR, actually. To be very honest.
Yeah, I think I like the most on Red Dead is the interactions of the objects on the game, the quality of. I mean, the horse, you go against something, the way it falls.
It's a complete different story.
That's
I mean,
next level.
if we're just talking about this, the animations and stuff like that, this is next level. I mean even now, it's
even GTA 4 is incredible when it comes to this stuff. When you see the way the car moves and the details and the movement and the interaction of the stuff is very, very, very good. So you remaster that, the base of the game is very, very good. You just improve the graphics and you have incredible game.
So Gang08 is writing, motion clarity with Samsung Game Motion Plus impressed me. Why does LG don't have such a feature with low latency? That's a good question for LG. Because
I think all TVs should have low latency motion interpolation, especially for 30 FPS gaming. But let me tell you something. maybe interpolating less and using more flickering kind of stuff to improve motion can give you better results, because when you start interpolating from 30 to 120, you get a lot of artifacts, a lot of things that don't look weird. So maybe instead of interpolating that many frames, maybe you just do 60 and then you use blinking and stuff. It might look more clean. By the way, talking about interpolation, to answer your question here, really we don't need that much the motion interpolation because on the PC, because we have now this program called lossless scaling that can do motion interpolation better than the TVs. So you have more quality, basically, and you don't have any input lag, and it's low latency. So if
I
your
fully
TV,
agree on you. So the problem is always what we're doing is actually we you know, with all the mods and stuff like that, this is just really working on PC. You know, we're always forgetting about consoles player. You know, because they have no chance to use actually any special K or reshade and stuff like that. That's a big problem. That's why I'm not a big fan. No, let's say no, that's wrong. I'm a big fan of Special K, a big fan of Reshape, because the possibilities with those tools is wow, it's just crazy. But I'm not a big fan actually to recommend using it for certain applications, because I think, you know, so you can see what happened with Fallout or whatsoever, because the mod community is actually fixing the game. You know, that is what's happening, and this is the same what would happen with all the other mods from Reshade, Special K, and stuff like that, because the developer just, you know, releasing something and then they will fix it. We don't care. You know, this is what's happening. I don't like this. I like the tools because they're so powerful, and you can see how simple it is to actually get proper HDR in Starfield. You know, like this, you know, or not like this, but I spoke with the developer from the HDR mod and whatever. There's work involved and time. Don't get me wrong, but we're talking about Bethesda. You know what I mean? About a multi-million billion-dollar company. Why they can't do this? You know, I don't get this. I really don't understand. This is laziness on a very high level.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Basically, developers, maybe they think, oh, it's PC gaming. I mean, we can't release the game broken. They are going to mod the game anyway to fix it. So.
Yeah, which is very bad, because also we have to consider that you know, how many people, let's say from 100,000 players, how many of those players know what Reshade can do? How many? Is it 5%? 10%? No. It's not that many people, you know, can use those tools, in my opinion, or know that there are tools to do such thing. We have a super chat. Thank you very much, Phase23BKNY. Which TV would you recommend, LG G4 or Samsung S95D? I have a very clear opinion on this, but Ariel, you go for it.
Mine is very clear too. I mean, the deal breaker with the S95D is that matte finish.
Yeah,
it was just a bad decision.
yes,
and I would recommend you, if you want to basically see why I have this opinion, you can just go to the store and you can look at it. S95D is always side by side with the lower tier. It might be side by side with the S90C, and you just look at it side by side, and you will see why that matte finishes. It was not a good idea, especially under lighting conditions. And I would also recommend you to check out a side by side. There are on the internet, there are some side by side pictures of matte finish versus glossy, and a close up, like basically very, very close. You can see the pixels. And the matte finish looks like painting that's like oil painting. It doesn't look sharp. It looks like if you see one of those glasses that are corrugated, like they are not glass and they're not glossy. I mean, it's like on the windshield of your car, if it's not glossy, you cannot see what's in front of you. Like, why would you put something that's not a crystal clear thing if you're trying to see what's behind. So it looks very bad. Matte finish, that's not a good idea.
So very clear, the LG G4, especially for gamers, in my opinion, is the way to go. It at the end just again question of money, because maybe the S95D is cheaper, but it's a no-go for me with this matte finish. The I would even recommend the S95C over the S95D. Full stop.
Yeah,
because it has a better matte finishing. But if you like glossy, then G4, go for it.
and I'm not saying that if you look at them side by side on a dark room, the S95D might look better in a lot of instances. It might look more colorful, but the clarity is important. I'm sure you look at them, you put your nose on the screen, and it's gonna look better glossy than matte. But if you want a QD OLED, just get something older. You get an S95C. I mean, and yeah, it may be cheaper too.
Yeah. Mara Tax TV is asking, hey, GamingTech, what country are you from? I was born in Germany, but I'm living in Australia now.
I'm from Cuba, and I live in the US, and I'm actually now a US citizen, finally.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Very happy.
That's good.
I can finally travel the world. See? Now it is just about money now. But I can go anywhere. I can, go see the Olympic Games if I want. We just need to pay a lot of money, but yeah.
Yeah, for this end. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's good. Good on you. Yes, really happy.
Yeah, very happy.
Yeah, maybe you need to do a little.
Let me answer.
Whatever, where you live now, showing the pools and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm living on Kansas right now. I moved from Wisconsin. Yeah, this place is very nice, very nice. Everything looks new. The streets are new. Back in Wisconsin, the streets were all messed up. When you're driving, it's like, it's all a mess. But here, everything is brand new. I mean, I was on a pool today with water slides, brand new, very fun, very fast water slides, trampolines, like insane. The quality of everything just brand new, very cheap too, like $9 to get into the pool. $9 the entire day. Crazy. This looks like a paradise, honestly. The parks are unreal. So beautiful. I mean, I'm so happy to live here in the US, and especially I'm loving Kansas. Everything here, Kansas, is just next level good. Absolutely love it. I wanted to answer this question here from Danny FR. He says, "Hi, is there a maximum peak brightness on software like a Special K and Reshade Lilium? I don't want to be limited if I buy a high-end mini LED TVs like a Bravia 9 or QM85 1G. A Special K, for some reason, I think it does have a limit. I don't know why. And I have not checked out a Special K HDR recently. I would have to install it. And I was not a big fan of a Special K for HDR because it was not plug and play. You'd have to tweak the gamma, especially, and that's difficult to nail. It's very difficult. I would need another PC with another TV, and then so I can have a reference to compare and all of that. To get it right, it's very difficult. But with Lilium and Reshade, you can get this add-on. You download the Reshade with full add-on support. You get this add-on, this Auto HDR add-on. That's really native HDR because it is activating the HDR from the engine. So what I mean by native HDR, I don't mean that the developers intent or something like that, of course not. But it is real. The signal is HDR, and it does have a higher bit rate. It's not like just brighter SDR. It does unlock from the engine level. It does unlock that HDR10 and is sCRGB, and it has a higher bit rate, and it does add details and qualities that you don't see on SDR. With that, it was called Major Paint the Cactus add-on. With that, you can just type in the brightness you want, and it can be 10,000 nits, whatever you want. So you can use your high-end TV, and it doesn't matter which game it is. It doesn't work for every single game, but for most Unreal Engine games, it works. And also, some Ubisoft engines, like it works for a lot of engines. A special K doesn't work for everything either. Sometimes it's not supported. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, you can get all the brightness you want.
So, Ramped is actually saying we absolutely need to make as much noise as we can about broken HDR. Even we can fix it for ourselves. Yeah, correct. That's why we both need 1 million subscribers. That's we can do a lot of noise. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. So one of the games I was really disappointed was Starfield back then. Really absolutely disappointed. I was not expecting such a bad HDR implementation. And we actually, on the release day, we just talking about HDR on the Xbox. Some sort of HDR. It looked like a mix between auto HDR and just increase the black level floor thing. On PC, there was not even HDR support, not even auto HDR support. There was literally nothing.
It was
so I mean, which was not even better, because also the SDR picture had a raised black level floor.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, it was not even a problem of HDR. SDR was messed up too.
The whole creators intent, whatever, I don't know what they was taking at this day, or when they really it looks really bad, really, because again, you can have some sort of, how should I say, I don't understand why they're increasing the black level floor. I don't understand. If you want to have some sorts of effects like fog, like a dusty picture, whatever, don't increase the black level floor. Just add this filter on top or whatever, but leave it at 0, because then it looks much better, because then you still have this great contrast and you have a little bit of a foggy picture. It works just better. Alan Wake, look at Alan Wake. They're doing this so really, really good. Even it's also not perfect on all the places, but it's much better because you have 0 HDR black level rays, and then you have the fog or whatever filter. You know what I mean? So much better. I don't understand this. But yes, you're right. We would need to make a lot of noise, but yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I believe what he's thinking about is, so we can help to give people who are not into this stuff have a better experience. Because, for example, I cannot say, oh, I don't care about HDR being perfect anymore, because I have a PC, I know how to use reshade or do this and that and fix it, so I don't care. I do care, because I have a platform and I have a voice. And if somehow we can help to make a difference, it's going to give a better experience to people who don't want to be using reshade and using all these mods, because they can just enjoy what they should be enjoying.
So it should be like 10 years ago. You turn on your console and you stop playing.
Yeah,
that's it. And you shouldn't bother about anything. I mean, that's long gone.
And the thing is, even for us, I was saying, I tried to, okay, let me play GTA 4. Oh, okay, I couldn't play GTA 4 because I realized that I need to spend 4 hours modding the game for it to run properly. And I'm like, no, I much rather just play something else than spend time trying to fix a game. And a lot of people are going to do the same thing. I'm not going to bother, watching a 15-minute long video from Ariel who doesn't,
yeah,
and then, I'm not going to bother with it. I'm just going to play NVR or whatever.
You need to put the same information in a 30 seconds TikTok video.
You know what? I've never even installed TikTok or any other platform. I've never even tried, but yeah.
No. I'm just making jokes here. But anyway, this one is kind of serious. So Beam Me Up Scotty P writes, I can't see all the comments. What do you mean? So it would be interesting because I have an idea why this can be the case. Ariel, when you set up your stream on YouTube, did you tick the box live comments?
Maybe not. I don't
Because
remember.
no, because if I'm pretty sure I did this, because it would be interesting if all the comments are just what he is missing are just from one channel, or is it just a coincidence? You know. This,
Yeah, let me get.
Anyway, that's.
Yeah, let me get my.
I don't know. I don't know if this is the reason.
Yeah, let me get my laptop here real quick.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's too late anyway today, but you know what I mean. This is just for next streams to consider what is wrong, because Jarvis also writes same here. So
yeah,
maybe
it's
really a setting on YouTube, because we're streaming actually from StreamYard to 2 channels at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, to get the 1.5 million viewers, what we have at the moment. I know it's less.
Yeah, I'll check it out
No,
later, and then for next time, I think I'm having the same issue. That's why I haven't been reading the comments. I do see it on a StreamYard, but here on the channel, I don't see it.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get better at it. We'll try it again.
We get there. We're getting there. No worries. Have you? Hey, you never did the Ghost of Tsushima page HDR update. You said you would. I said this, really. I said so many things, really. No, I apologize for this, but this is probably also in this. If you're late to the party, I'm not motivated to do any videos at the moment. I don't know why, you know. Now I got very bad news from my job side, you know, that they actually laid off more than half of the people at my workplace, you know, and it doesn't look good, you know. Even it looked good 5 months ago, now it doesn't look good at all. So I was not motivated at all to do, you know, because your mind is not in this, you know what I mean. So that's it. And then a lot of work for the house, you know, doing the backyard, front yard, and stuff like that. Then I was sick a whole week. I was sick. I think I catched COVID or something like that. So I mean, I catched a cold, you know. So, and then I actually broke my little toe. I'm not kidding. I broke my little toe when I was walking past my chair, whatever, you know what I mean? I kicked the chair with my little toe, and it was like this then. Oh, fuck. So it was not a good, the last weeks, months was not good. Now I'm not sure when I'm doing this, or maybe, you know, and that's the thing. And I like to be very honest. So even I would now put a lot of effort in doing a video about the patch and telling people, hey, now it's fixed, you know, at the end I would be very disappointed because you get 1,000 views, you know, and I would put the same amount of work in as in any other game. That means it takes me hours to do a video, you know, and I'm not motivated at the moment. Sorry to say that, but hopefully soon, you know what I mean.
I mean, just take it easy, and just make it short, you know, or make it, you know, just like this, like a live stream. Hey, just open the game and check it out live, and just, you know, see what you see. Just try to make it easier for you. I mean, your videos are very high quality. YouTube channels who make videos like that, they have people working for them, doing the editing and all that stuff. It's not easy. That's why I've never even tried to edit anything. It would take me a lot more work.
It is a lot of work, you know. And the thing is also what many people don't realize, that when I'm recording stuff, so here this is live, so it doesn't matter, so I can't do much about it. But again, English is not my first language. So, and sometimes when you talk and you record something, so it's actually, I have to say, it's actually easier to talk to you at the moment than just talking to a blank screen. You get my point?
Yeah.
So you know what you like to talk about the black level floor in this game, whatever, and then you talk for 30 seconds, and then you do a pronunciation mistake, and immediately you realized it. I stop. You know, I start over. You know, and you're getting so frustrated at some point. You know what I mean? Wow. And then for some videos, I was actually doing scripts, you know, so I really wrote down what I like to say, and you just read this, but then it sounds so like a computer voice because you're so focusing on that what you're reading. So maybe it's really just because it's English is not my first language, but I don't like this either. So, and even, you know, I don't know, you need to realize making a script takes you hours of, you know, it takes a lot of time. So yeah, I get it. I need to be a little bit more, how should I say, I don't want to decrease the video quality, but I need to think about how to make it much easier for me to not spend 6, 7, 8 hours for one video. It doesn't work.
Man, let me tell you, when the most difficult thing when I am making the videos is the beginning. Because, you know, I do them one cut to get the beginning right, because sometimes I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about. So, you know, I repeat the beginning sometimes. So once I start talking, I make mistakes a lot. I mean, I have so many mistakes because English is not my native language either. But the only way I can do this is if I accept it's not gonna be perfect, and it might not even be good at all. I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's the only way I can do it, because as an artist, I am a musician. I do not apply that, and that's why I don't have videos out there, or I have very few videos playing because of that. Oh, I make a mistake or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
and the thing is, honestly, it doesn't matter that much. It matters to us, but it doesn't really matter that much. And what I have to do as an artist is do the same thing I'm doing with the YouTube channel. Just throw it out there. If I make a mistake, who cares? The only thing that can get hurt is my ego. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the problem. You know, no, I know what you mean. I know we need to be a little bit more, because people, you're right, they don't care. They don't care if there's if he doesn't know the word now or whatever, or struggles to find something, can't finish the sentence and stuff like that. As long the message is correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The message is what matters, really.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, so let's do this one here. And we are over 2 hours 30 already with the stream. It's going good. Let's not even talk about Xbox lying about Dolby Vision when barely any game has true Dolby Vision implementation. Yeah, I think this was one of my last videos where I ranted about Dolby Vision, and I got a lot of love from the Xbox community about this. But yeah, I'm right. You know, there's exactly one game out there which supports native Dolby Vision. That's Halo. That's it. So Dolby Vision gaming is dead. It was never alive. That's how it is.
So you mean that the Xbox lied?
No, Xbox. No, I wouldn't say Xbox lied about this, but,
no, but these big companies don't lie. They are honest, and they never.
No, I wouldn't say that Xbox lied in this particular case, because I haven't actually seen any advertising from them that they're promoting Dolby Vision like crazy. And this is what I was expecting in the very beginning, you know, when there was the Xbox announcement supporting Dolby Vision in gaming mode and stuff like that. And I think the LG CX was the first TV who got the firmware update for Dolby Vision gaming. I was excited, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, because you have dynamic metadata, you know, of games, and it should look better and stuff like that. But then there was no advertising from Xbox at all. There was nothing, you know, check out Dolby Vision, do this, nothing. Until today, I don't know. You know, it's dead.
Yeah, I think they did have clear that it is important that all the games supported, and they tried to advertise that on hundreds of games you can play with Dolby Vision, but it's not native, and then developers are not gonna pay for a license to have Dolby Vision. So yeah,
that's of course a thing. But on the other hand, I mean, yeah, I get this. But the thing is, you know, so I would even go that far that most of the people, so even all the games would have a native Dolby Vision implementation. Most of the people would not see the difference, especially when you play the game, because you don't have time to look at details. You know, that's how it is.
So I believe that the biggest difference that Dolby Vision could make, aside from making easier that you don't have to be moving sliders and all of that. But when it comes to the quality, I think when you have a scene that has it has a highlight that is very big on the screen, maybe it's clipping. If you're using HDRG and everything, it might be clipping. With Dolby Vision, it might be doing a more aggressive tone mapping so you can see the detail. So maybe Dolby Vision would be able to show you more detail and make sure you're not clipping highlights, and that might be the quality advantage.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely, and not just like in specular highlights, which again, while you're playing the game, it's probably very hard to see those details, but the average picture brightness can be adjusted much easier. That's for something. But again, there's just one game using Dolby Vision natively, and I had so many discussions with people they don't believe this actually. I mean, just because you can play 99% of the games in Dolby Vision as well, that doesn't mean you have native Dolby Vision support. And Mario Heat, for your comment, you have to switch to HDR because games look worse with Dolby Vision. So that's a problem with your TV or screen.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with Dolby Vision, that when you see the reviews, a lot of the times they tell you, oh, don't even use Dolby Vision because the calibration is messed up.
Yeah. So that's a problem with your screen, because if a game does not have native Dolby Vision support, it will just use the HDR10 metadata. So nothing else will happen. That means you should have, from a technical point of view, exactly the same picture with HDR10. But because you're in a different picture mode on your screen and TV, that means, the TV manufacturer, this screen manufacturer, maybe really messed up this picture setting. And it's still, until now, if I'm not wrong, even the G4 has not a correct Dolby Vision EOTF curve in gaming mode. Still until today. It's over brighten. That's why Dolby Vision on the CX, G4, whatever, looks brighter, the average picture brightness.
Wow, and I mean, when you go to the Dolby Vision page, they recommend LG TVs. So I mean, if the G4 cannot get it right, I mean.
So that's my last info from Classy.
That's great.
Not fixed.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go. No, you go.
No, I just forgot when with the comment with Ghost of Tsushima, the problem I see is too dark, and it's too dark on SDR. Mm-hmm. So if they patch the HDR to improve whatever, it's still gonna be too dark unless they change their intent. It's too dark on SDR.
So the issue with Ghost of Tsushima was that the HDR slider, I think that was the issue, was not, so the maximum peak brightness setting was 1500, but it never exceeded 1000 nits. Never. So that was the problem. I think the only problem, I think, was this, which is a problem. And again, it should work. But on the other hand, I agree with you. Ghost of Tsushima, also on the PlayStation 5, is too dark. So I recommended actually back then to increase the brightness setting in the game, because I can't remember my video what I did, but I did a lot of testing with the brightness setting. Until even when you set it to 70, you're not raising the black level floor. So that means to me that when you leave it at the standard, which is 50, you have a lot of black level crush. And I actually showed this in 2 pictures, So it's the standard settings are not good in the game.
And on top of that, they have an option, or a contrast option, that's dramatic. So the crush is even more.
Yeah, I saw this. I tested this and I said, don't use it.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking. That the developers, they wanted even more. Let's crush it and make it dramatically.
Yeah, it looks more dramatically, but it lose a lot of it. Because you crush the contrast, you have really black. It looks more wow, but it doesn't.
You cannot see anything if you go inside a house or something. You don't see anything. Yeah. So increase the brightness is what I would do. Or if you are using reshade, you can use the the shader that I recommended, the PROD 8003 curved levels.
Yeah.
And raise the visibility near black.
So Ramped is writing, a lot of channels have a secondary channel for quicker catch-up videos, but a second channel is a whole new effort. Absolutely right. I have actually a second channel, which I haven't posted since 2 years probably. So it's my former name, Amok for All. I use this name for the second one and going with GamingTech on the main channel. But again, I haven't not posted anything on this one.
I mean, I had a second channel about skating.
Skating?
Yeah, skating. Because I started, buying skates, and I got into skating, and I still do. I like it a lot. But then when I bought this phone, I wanted to record myself skating, all of that. I'm like, if I drop this phone, it's $1,200. So let's not get crazy with the skating channel. And I'm not that good anyway, so I just do it for fun. I just do some easy tricks and stuff. But yeah, I'm into that. That was my that channel was before this one, and I got some practice thanks to that channel. I was doing half-an-hour long videos about skates and taking them apart and talking about the spacer and this and that. Yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah, this is crazy. What's this here? Do you guys think that Windows is ever going to allow to use Dolby Vision with movie files? If, for example, on a cheap, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, do you have any issues with SDR content while HDR is on? Oh, don't get me into this. Using Windows HDR and then SDR content. I don't want to bother with this anymore because it's even so. Sometimes, there was this issue with when RTX HDR was released. I think I made a video that not HDR, no RTX for the videos. You know what I mean?
Oh, RTX.
And I made a video and I said, no, as soon as I'm enabling this, the black level floor is wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to fix this. And it's still the same sometimes that it's really weird because I don't know if this is just with my PC, but it's happening on two actually. Sometimes you go on test pattern, and you watch them in SDR, you have perfect black. Then you enable your HDR, and then just for an example, you have to reopen your browser, obviously, and then you watch in full screen, and you have black level raised, and then you just minimize your screen, your whole screen, to a half or whatever, and you have perfect black levels. I say, fucking, what the hell is going on? So you can try this at some point. So I'm using Opera, but it's the same with the Edge browser. So I think sometimes the hardware acceleration, what is used, is causing a lot of issues. Sometimes, because as soon as I'm disabling this, I have no black level raise in some videos. But you can't you have to use it nowadays. There's no way. It's just stuttering than the videos and stuff like that. So no, so the whole Windows and HDR actually is a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, I have to check out. I didn't see that issue, but with gaming, with RTX HDR for gaming, I think that's the biggest thing that happened. And all this time, before when we stop the live streams from today, I think that's the most important thing that happened. That RTX, when it comes to HDR, that RTX HDR, and I think it works very well.
Yeah,
and it is definitely a solution for a lot of people because it works. Like the gamma it looks right. I don't know how, but it seems like NVIDIA knows what they're doing when it comes to that stuff. I don't think there's any AI. I don't think nothing is happening. I don't think there's some real time rendering or something like that. Maybe they are detecting.
It's hard to believe that.
Yeah, I don't. But the thing is, the gamma looks right, and the settings that RTX HDR has to increase the brightness, the overall brightness of the game or the black, they work very well. Like you don't raise the blacks too much if you increase the overall brightness, and a lot of people like that. They like that dynamic tone mapping. effect, so you can just increase that and get a more. And I'm sure a lot of people like more RTX HDR than most of the HDR implementations
because it's easier to set up sometimes.
very easy. Now the thing is, it does cost some frames, and
yeah. But
yeah,
I don't even know. I did a video and I compared it with Cyberpunk. Was it 5 frames or was it 3 frames? What?
yeah, but you have a 4080 on my on my 3080. I lose sometimes a lot of frames, like 7-10 frames. So that's a lot. So I don't use it if the performance is big, because I much rather use reach it.
Of course. Anyway, so 2 hours 40. I'm getting very hungry. You have to go to bed, son. So we have to explain this. Actually, it's here at the moment. It's 1 p.m. here, okay, in Australia, and for you it's probably what is it?
10. It's 10 p.m.
10 p.m. So we have a little bit of a time difference here, which is of course annoying, because I can't do live streams with you during the week. It's not possible.
Yeah,
it's not possible because I have to do this thing called work.
For sure. I mean, but this time works very well for me. I usually Saturday nights. I usually just watch the UFC and play practice.
It's Sunday here.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday night here in the US. So yeah, that works for me. So I mean, we can go back and make it more regular, especially now that we pay for a StreamYard. So
let's do this next weekend as well, Sunday.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, so we really appreciate those super chat today, because I mean we had to pay for a StreamYard, not only the time we have here. So that definitely helps.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, yeah, so in order to stream actually, or to to stream the 2 channels, you have to upgrade StreamYard. Otherwise, it's not working. And they're doing this very, very smart, because just the highest tier actually allows 1080p. So that's why But anyway, for showing us our beautiful faces, that's what we have to do.
I mean, I'm a mess right now.
5 a.m. for me. 5 a.m. Where are you? 5 a.m. Where are you? That's really early. Thank you very much for getting up just for us. Probably not. I don't know. What are you doing? Are you working, or 5 a.m.? Anyway, that's really nice. Germany. Oh, okay. Yes, you're probably right. It's very early. Germany. Love both of you. Love both of y'all. Okay, cool. Even Ariel with the beard. I don't know. You need to trim it. Really, it doesn't look.
Yeah, the thing is, what happens? I usually, what I do is I use a machine to do it myself for everything. I just use number 1, like very, very thin, and then I do that once in a while. But my machine is still with comfort, right? I'm still having movie yet.
And he's rather buying a $30 plasma TV than a new shaver, because
yeah, because I still have the plasmas there, and yeah, I'm paying a big truck just to bring the plasmas, especially the Pioneer. That TV is special. Not very good for gaming because it has very high input lag for gaming, but it looks very good, man. Just to watch the TV, that's very, very good. And I didn't want to lose that TV, but really to rent a truck to move that, it's not worth it, because I'm gonna spend like almost $900 just to move that stuff. And what I have there that's big, it's not worth it. That money, it's not worth it. I can buy a new bed here for super cheap. I don't need to move my bed from there. So and I have some gaming chairs and stuff like that. That's not worth it, the money. So yeah,
that's good.
I'm doing it for the plasma. So yeah, that's so you see how I like it.
No, that's good. Now let's continue doing this on a weekly basis now. Because maybe not as long next time, because I have all the kids here, but we do 10 a.m. if this is fine with you. 10 a.m. Adelaide time. And
that works.
then
That works. So we're back then. We're back.
Yeah. No worries. And I'm trying to get into and doing my Ghost of Tsushima update video. I can't promise anything, but let's maybe let's install it at least and let's check it out.
Let's go.
Okay, no worries. Okay, I think that's it. Let's have the last comment here. Does any TV manufacturer intend to revive CRT production?
It will never happen. It will never happen because it's just too much. I mean, that's ancient technology. People like engineers and stuff from today, they don't know anymore about that. It's too much money, too much power. But we don't need that. We don't need it because we can get that motion today, and we can get better colors. We can get more brightness. Now, the thing that makes CRTs special is, of course, that input lag is very good because it's analog. There's no processing. That input lag is instant. And you also have CRTs can do 30,000 nits. Okay, it's on a very small, pulse. But yeah, we don't have 30,000 nits today. That's why I was saying that yes, we do need more brightness. But the thing is, we can get brighter, more clear, and more colorful than CRTs with what we have today. The thing is, they just don't do it because I don't know why they prefer to prioritize something else. But what you're looking for, you will have it, and it's gonna be much better than what we had with CRTs.
And it's not just that. I mean, just consider. So, are you going to buy a 32-inch OLED TV in the next time? Because that's the maximum size. It was the maximum size for CRT TVs, 32-inch.
Yes.
So, and then you needed 2 people actually to move it. So no way. So forget about this.
Yeah, I mean that's the worst about then the size. Yeah, I need to get it needs to be 50-inch at least. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So forget about this now. No. Anyway, I think it's time. Thank you very much, guys. This was a nice callback. And we need to think about a couple of topics for next stream, but that's fine. We rely on the comments as well. If you have something to bring up, then bring it up.
Absolutely.
That's how it is, we are not just here to talk about or talk to each other. We like to talk to you guys, actually.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to do a much better job next time with the comments. Like I couldn't even see the comments well, so I can't highlight them. I have to fix the settings, all that. So next time should be better. Okay.
Next time is better. Okay, all good.
Yes.
Now, okay.
Let's
Guys,
go.
thank you very much. I will end the stream now. Okay. Thank you very much. We see you next time. Bye.